Now, Karen and I were talking. Do you think they're going to be doing any recordings of the event?
They have talked about it and talked about possibly selling the recordings after the event. But at this time, I don't know if they've decided to do that. But we've actually talked about that at all of the Everest events. But these are such a challenge sometimes to organize, and you don't know the money that it costs to plan. You just don't know all the expenses that you're going to get hit with. So at the tail end, you start to get a little bit conservative because you're looking at ticket sales versus the money that you're paying out, and you don't want to end up losing your shirt. And the cost of having somebody come in and record is actually really, really expensive. So sometimes that's a consideration. So I don't know if they've made that decision to go ahead and record or not. I know my event in Memphis, there's just no way that we had the revenue coming in for the tickets to be able to afford it. So we did not record it.
Hopefully in the future.
It's really good. But yeah, as these events start to get bigger and people are really starting to tune into Builderall, and we've got an even bigger crowd, and people are maybe you've got a bigger group of people that are committed to coming to these events, and you can just about guess what your revenue is going to be from it. Then I think there'll be definitely decisions to record and offer them later. Right now, it's still really new. We've only been doing the Everest for about a year. So we're still kind of working out everything that we want to do with Everest. So I'm not terribly sure.
I used to take part with some of the companies when they would do expos and training. Mm-hmm. And many of them, what they would do is they had an audio company that they worked with that mm-hmm. would come in and because you didn't have the technology that you have today, because you didn't have the internet back then. But they were able to record it, and they sold it, and they sold it at enough of a profit to make it worth it.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what they're looking at doing at some point. Not sure if it's going to happen in London or not. I hope it does, because we've got some really good speakers coming in. So it would be fabulous to have those later as recordings. But we'll see. It's all up to James and Michael. They're the two that are organizing the whole event. It's all on their dime, and they have to plan accordingly. And I promise you, having done one already, it's a challenge because you don't want to lose your shirt. You want to make sure that at least you try to make it come out even. And I think they've done a good job of putting tickets together, offering bonuses to help boost that revenue up so that maybe they can provide those videotape sessions and stuff. So we'll see. We'll see if they're able to offer it. Okay. Any questions before we start, guys? Did you guys take a look at the sales funnel structure that we worked on yesterday? Were you able to play with it a little bit? I did submit everything to the developers, so they've got it in their hands and they're working on it. But did you get to play with setting up the offers, setting up the graphic image of the upsells and the downsells? Were you able to play with that a little bit yesterday? All of you guys look like, yeah, no, Shelly, no. No,
I was very excited.
I've sort of been playing with it off and on all along before the boot camp.
Good. Well,
I'm kind of focused on like affiliate links. Like I was saying yesterday, it would be great once they upgrade that to where I can do like an upsell, downsell with my affiliate links. Mm-hmm. So I haven't played with it yet, but I now have this in my library for the future.
Good. That's fabulous. And this is powerful. I'm going to tell you what, I've done a lot with sales funnels, and before I came to Builderall, I was actually with Warrior Plus, JV Zoo, ClickBank, and I created those sales funnels with upsells and downsells. I was the obnoxious one that had 52 products in the sales funnel, and you couldn't get out of the sales funnel. And you're just like, oh my gosh, seriously, Shelly, this is like too much. And I learned from all of that experience that's just, you're conditioning your people to just jump out after a while. The sales funnel idea and selling products, digital products, and whether they're your own products or affiliate products, it's so fabulous. It's an absolutely fabulous way to create a business online. And here's what I like about it, okay? I've done the brick and mortar business where I've done a business in a building. We actually had a couple of businesses, but my favorite was our balloon shop We actually did balloon sales. We did the latex balloons, the Mylar balloons. We did birthday parties, office parties, weddings, all that kind of stuff. The cost of entry to get into that was tremendous. I mean, I negotiated rent for a year so I could get the lowest price possible. And so I paid rent for an entire year at the front end of the business. And then we had to redesign the entire interior because it was just an office space that kept files. So we had to rearrange everything to make it a balloon shop, which of course you had to clean it up and dress it up and paint it and design, shelves and cabinets. And there's a lot we had to do. So that was money up front just to make it ready for people to walk in. And that's not including any of the shop items to be able to put products on. We had to buy shelves. We had to buy, things to put products on. And then we had to buy the equipment for the business. So I had to have helium tanks. I had to have, things buckets and boxes to put products in to store them, keep them places. We were really innovative and bought if you've seen those over the door shoe hangers, they're little plastic things you put on your closet door and you put your shoe inside the little slot. Well, we had several of those on the wall and we had all the different styles of balloons inside each slot. So we had them organized. There's just a lot we had to do to organize the shop to be ready for the first customer to come in, not including the exact product. Right. Not including all the balloons that we were going to be offering and the little teddy bears and all the little things that they could buy when they came in. So we were in, before the first person ever walked into the store, we were probably in about $30,000 just for the person to walk in the door. Right.
That's it. I mean, online, you can go for 100, 150. In a business, you better have 250 because you have to have the overhead, because before you even open your doors to your customers, you got to get your product, you got to do, and then you got to hire and trade.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's exactly it. So the reality is that a sales funnel, once you start to understand the concept of the sales funnel, the barrier to entry is really, really low because the sales funnel itself is not a hard thing to understand. Putting together a sales funnel, once you kind of get the ins and outs of it, is not a hard thing to understand. Getting all the equipment that you need to be able to do the sales funnel. I mean, it's a computer, internet, and Builderall, and that's pretty good. That'll get you, there's not a whole lot of extra after that. So computer is a good computer. I just bought a really top of the line computer for $3,500. Builderall is $50 a month. And then internet, we'll say $100 a month to get good internet. So you're gonna have an entry of about $4,000, we'll say, to really get in, and then a continued cost of about $150 a month for internet and Builderall. And from there, you can actually do amazing things. And you can do very minimal to be able to start making that money back really quick. Davida? Yeah,
it cost me about $1,000 to have my computer custom designed and put it up with 16 gigs of RAM and all of that, just so I don't have to go replace it anytime soon.
Yeah, that's good.
You're so lucky. So lucky. Do you know that? When I was in business, when I had my touring business, I had a coach on the road and it cost me $300,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, before a wheel moved on that vehicle, I was paying $3,000 a month.
That's crazy.
That was in
It's
pounds.
crazy, but it's true. It's crazy, but it's true. I mean, David, I believe you because I've started my own business and I know how hard it is to that barrier of entry of you're thinking, I've got a great idea for a business. And then all of a sudden you're $300,000 in debt.
That's what it was. Yeah. And the bank backed me. The bank gave me the money. That was the crazy thing. Now, I don't know whether they would, but you see, you work away online. You're at home. It's on the computer. I can do it tomorrow. Mañana comes in, right? Mm-hmm. But you have to, as you say, get stuck into it and just do it. Okay, you might make a mistake now and then, but you'll remedy that mistake and you'll get on. And I'm sure you made mistakes when you started as well.
I'm the queen of mistakes. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so well done, well done. And I'm going to say it. Everybody that's here is taking action. A lot of people, I'm getting to know their faces reasonably well, and everybody is taking action, and that's what it's all about.
It is. And the exciting thing is that the tools that you're going to use with these sales funnels, whether you're doing a basic lead magnet funnel or you're doing a very complicated, very involved funnel, once you learn this, nobody can take it away from you. It's not like you're going to go to the store and buy a gallon of milk and come home and all of a sudden you can't do it anymore. It's amazing because no matter what life throws at you at this point, you have the ability to make money online.
and then when, as I said before, when you see the dollars coming in, that's when you're like this maybe at the start, and then boom, whoa, the dollars are coming in. I'm making money.
It's actually amazing, guys. Let me tell you how I feel about it before we jump into Tripwire, because once I go in there, I'm going to be like really focused. It's funny because before I started with Builderall and before I started hardcore online business, I was an employee, right? I worked at many different places. I was a secretary. I was a IT administrator. I was actually a networking consultant and traveled all over the United States. I was, sales manager for a company. I've had so many jobs. And there was always that fear at every job, because I knew I was expendable, right? Everybody's expendable. There was always that fear that I wasn't performing, they were going to let me go, and then what am I going to do, right? And even though I have a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, a doctorate, I've got MCSE, A+, and it's hard to get out there and get your resume out there and find that job. It's tough to do, and it's always just disheartening. And so every job hop that I did, it was like, man, I hate this. I hate this. But it's funny now because no matter what I do, if Builderall went away tomorrow, if it disappeared and it was no longer here, Shelly would still make six figures and more, because I know how to do online marketing and I know how to do it well. And the sales funnel is part of that, understanding that psychology of the sales funnel, understanding how to get the person into the funnel in the beginning and then guide them through the path that I want them to go. I know how to create those websites. I know how to do amazing things with all kinds of different tools that Builderall has that I can transfer if I need to other companies that have those same tools. Don't want to, but if I had to, Builderall went away, I could do it. It's amazing what you get with Builderall. And that is not just the tools and not just the ability to do all this stuff, but the confidence that now I can do anything I want to. I am no longer expendable. I am always moving forward. Always. That's the power I think that Builderall gives you. I don't know. Do you guys feel the same way about it? Tell me, do you guys feel the same way?
Absolutely.
Well, yeah. And, I mean, really, if you look at how in the late 90s, how technology started taking over and you would see companies merge and then they had 2 or 3 people doing the same job. They let people go. And then that was the beginning. If you remember the .com era, it was when you started seeing all of these seminars on how to buy property for no money down and inflation on the property. And now it's totally evolved into something else. But now they're even talking about selling cannabis.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. And David mentioned that the problem now is actually robots taking their job. David, I don't see it that way. I see it as just another opportunity. If you
I do as well. But a lot of people are worried about it. But no, I'm back while we're talking about this other thing. Mm-hmm. It's you giving us the understanding to use these funnels and everything. Like, how many people here didn't know how to use a funnel before we started this? Am I the only fool here? I seem to be the only Egypt here, so we call them Egypts over here, I must be the only Egypt. But I'm getting the understanding there, but still my problem is, we went through it yesterday, all the different ways to send them here and send them there. I can understand that, but My problem, to get understanding, is getting the email set up to go there. That's my biggest thing that I have in here that I cannot.
We'll definitely get you over that hurdle when we get to the
in July. I'll be
I know.
I'll be 6 foot under by then.
No, you won't be. No. But I do want to address what you actually mentioned, though, about the problems about robots taking over the jobs. At one point, it was the internet that was the problem. The internet is messing everything up, and they're taking away jobs, and it's doing this and it's doing that. And we've figured out a way to monopolize or take advantage of the internet to create an income. So we can do the same thing with robots. When you talk about robots taking jobs, well, yeah, they are. So why aren't we learning about how to run robots? Why, if you're worried about that, are you not going to college or taking a free class through MIT? You can actually go to MIT and they have free programming classes on how to do that kind of stuff. And you can go through and learn Python. You can learn Visual Basic. You can learn Ruby on Rails. All those are the popular programming languages right now that you can use to actually be able to program those things in. And there's not a person in here, and I'm looking at all of you in the eyeballs, right? I want you to make sure. I can't look at Shawana. I can look at Willie, but I can't look at Shawana. But Shawana, if you were on, I'd be looking at you in the eyeballs. There's not a person in here that's dumb and can't learn programming. Okay, you might have to work a little bit harder than other people, but you can learn it. So if learning about robots and how they work and learning programming is something you want to do, don't ever think, oh, that's too hard. That's for people that are like geniuses. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not. All you got to do is be determined to actually learn it. That's all there is to it. And you get into some of those free classes and get your feet wet, find out what it's all about. And then if it's really something that you're interested in, you keep pursuing it. And you just decide to learn it. That's how it works.
Now you can do it on online courses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's MIT has a ton of free online programming, and it's absolutely fabulous. They take you all the way through just as if it was a college course. And you can learn the up and coming programming languages like Ruby on Rails, which is really popular, Python, which is really popular, Visual Basic, of course, which is really popular, Java and JavaScript, which of course is important for the internet, and then HTML5. All of those are available as free courses through MIT that you can kind of get your feet wet to decide if you really want to jump into something like that. Because programming is not for everybody, and it's not an intelligence thing. To me, it's a patience thing. Because to me, when I'm programming, when I actually get in there and start writing code, I have to think, like I have to swim down deep and just kind of swim down to it and just kind of think really hard and really, really long. And if something happens around me, it's almost like I'm yanked up out of the water and then I have to swim back down to get where I was to figure it out. And you have to decide, is that something that you want to do every single day, right? Programming is not something that you can do a couple hours a day and then you get to rest because everything's all good. If you do programming, you're going to do 8 hours of programming a day. So you have to decide if that's actually what you want to do. But the programming world is wide open because of the very thing that robots are starting to take over and artificial intelligence and all those good things. So if you're worried about that being an issue and shutting you out of the ability to make money, the answer is clear. Start learning how to do that stuff so you can make money.
Yeah. May I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
While we're on the subject, one of the things that led me into the entrepreneur is that I was getting ready to go to law school and things like that, but I saw how things were being done to use robots and things like that, other different things to do research. So I went into create my own company. I started my own trucking company. And what led me out of that into doing internet marketing and everything else is that, say like in the early 90s, like 93 or 94, right, and when I started my company, it was surprising to me that they started taking over the industry of trucking with robots. And the way that they were doing that, they had monitors placed on the side of the road. Mm-hmm. And what happened is those monitors they were programming those monitors because in the future they were going to have robotic driven trucks. They mm-hmm. have that now. Matter of fact, Mercedes has a line of trucks to where they can program trucks to be self-driven by the trucks without an individual. I'm talking about 18-wheelers. And that's gradually, whether we know it or not, that's gradually taking over that industry. So within the next 10 years, you're going to see a real shortage. You're going to see very limited amount of people actually driving. I had 10 trucks, and I couldn't see 10 trucks on the road being driven by robotics versus individuals. So what happens is I saw back then the need to be able to understand how to do something now that a machine or any other thing couldn't do, so that I can be not just irreplaceable, but duplicatable. And I know that with Builderall, we can do anything we want, but at the same time, we can teach others to do the same thing. Yeah. It'll be duplicatable, and no robot can do that.
That's right. I totally agree. Absolutely agree.
Could I just share my screen for a second with you?
Sure.
This is what I've been working on. Where do I go? Down the bottom. This is what I've been working on now. This is going to be part of one thing that I'm working on, right? See this here?
Oh, yay. Look at how nice that looks.
I've been working on this now in the background, right? So I'm already onto this. Like a lot of places in Ireland now, it's only the small things, like even going to the checkout at your local supermarket, right? How many go to these automated checkout desks? I won't do that. That's me myself. I won't personally actually do that because it's taking away people's jobs. But 9 times out of 10, hands up who uses those checkouts in the local mall or the local supermarket.
I do. I actually go through self checkout all the time.
So this is what I probably shouldn't have told everybody this, but this is a way to work on your business, lads. Right?
Good. It's absolutely wonderful.
Futurize it. That's it.
And that's a great approach, because there are a lot of people that worry about the automation industry and jobs being lost. I look at it as even more opportunity. You just have to.
I want to be like you, getting the ching ching every day.
Ching.
Working remotely
tell us all the time.
The way business is done now. You know what companies do is they give you the computer, they give you the phone, and they have the software so they can reroute the calls, and you can work from home, and they don't have to pay the overhead of the office space.
Yep, that's definitely coming. The working from home remotely is definitely huge. Absolutely. But again, to me, it's working for them, which again means you're expendable. I love this whole thing about me.
For yourself, Shelley.
Yeah.
You can do, you're helping people. Look at us here. We're the lucky ones. There are thousands of people part of Builderall that are not the lucky ones. They're not here. They're not taking action. That's the thing that really gets me in here. I cannot understand these people. Do they think they're too good, or do they think everything in life?
I think it's
all here learning, taking action. Well done. And
I think it's a combination of, well, thank you for being here. And I think it's a combination of things that they're not here. And one of them is that they do have that job mentality, right? There's a lot of people that, well, if I lose my job, then I'm stuck. I can't do this. And that's a very real fear, that they won't have that money coming in. And they haven't gotten to the point where I've gotten, where I'm like, I don't care. I know I can make money now. So they've got kids to feed and a house to pay for and a car to pay for. And it's easy to fall into that job mentality, even though they know at any moment they can be, let go. And sometimes people live with that fear, but it's part of a mindset that you have to just kind of come to terms with, that a job is a job. You need it. You need to pay your bills. I wouldn't ever encourage anyone to quit a job. Especially
why are they paying? Why are they? Sorry, Shelley, for overcutting you there. Why are they paying to be a part of Builderall in the business?
Because it's a dream. It's a dream.
Gosh, it's an expensive dream for them. Well, I won't say it's an expensive dream in comparison to investing in a bricks and mortar business, right?
Right. But it is a dream, and that where the rubber meets the road, and I've told you guys this before, a dream will always stay a dream until you take action. And if these people are living in the fear of the job, and always afraid that it's going to take too much time and effort to do the action because it's going to hurt their job. Or what if I fail? A lot of people live on what ifs as well, right? What if I fail? What if I do all this and I fail? So they're actually more than happy to spend $50 a month to coast with it rather than $50 a month and actually fail. Well, you guys all know, I've preached this before, that failure is just a stepping stone. You could have seen my first few sales funnels and websites and mobile apps. You'd be like, that's funny, Shelly. Yeah, okay, keep trying. Because we all do it. We all fail. We all are less than what we want to be in the very beginning. But there's some people that failure doesn't mean a stepping stone to them. It means I can't do this. And I'm sorry, I used to be one of them years ago. If I tried something and I failed at it, I wasn't going to try it again. My attitude was, I'm not touching that again. I'm not going to do it. Because obviously I can't do it. But my attitude changed as I got older. And especially dealing with the physical issues that I have. And so there's many things that I tried that of course I'm going to fail at because I have one leg. I have to figure out what works for me. So the reality is that you have to just change your mindset. And for some people, that's an easy thing to do. And for others, that's not an easy thing to do.
Shirley, you must understand also as well that this program that we have is not for everybody.
You're right.
It's not for everybody. I mean, if we have everybody in it, I need someone to take care of my lawn. I need someone to take care of putting gas in my car. So this is not for everybody. So you got to understand that. Now, what I like about the internet, that we're not only working locally anymore. We work all over the world now. We can reach more people now. So there's no excuse.
Right.
But like I said, it's not for everybody.
Right. I totally agree with that too. And I'll give you a perfect example. My dad, I love my dad. I absolutely love my dad. But my dad would never be able to handle the stress of being an entrepreneur like this, because he is one that wants to put his ducks in a row, and those ducks better quack. And if they don't quack, he's moving on and he's going to go to more ducks, different ducks. And it's hard to make the ducks quack sometimes when you're working in your own business and you're an entrepreneur. And sometimes you'll have 10 ducks and 2 of them will quack and 8 of them will bark. And you're like, what the crap? I did everything like I was supposed to. So it's a constant learning environment and constant experiencing failure, and not beating yourself up, but taking that failure, making it better and trying again. And the next time you might get 3 ducks to quack instead of 2. And then the next time 5 ducks to quack instead of 3. So you're constantly getting more of your ducks to quack for you correctly. But the reality is that this is a constant learning environment. And whatever you learn today, it's going to change because the internet changes. And this is the fastest place that changes on the planet, I think, is the internet. So you always have to be ready for change as well. And at 78 years old, my dad is not ready for a lot of change. He's ready for things to kind of stay in a bubble in place. So my dad would not be a good candidate to bring online to do business with Builderall. So it does take a specific person, a mindset, and then the determination to make it happen, even if you experience failure. So yeah, you guys have had such good input, because this is to me, an important part of the sales funnel process is that mindset of understanding the power of what you have, but you can never, ever wield that power if you don't put it into action. Right.
Hey, Shelly.
Uh-huh.
I ran my own locksmith business for years and years. And one thing you didn't mention, which is huge when you have a brick and mortar or a mobile business, is liability insurance.
Yeah, that's huge. Yeah. Yeah, I remember when we had to go get our liability insurance, and even though the liability insurance itself was not a lot, the fact of the matter is that when you start to think about the fact that people can come right back on you and sue you, and liability insurance will cover you. So if they walk in the door and they slip and fall, liability insurance will cover you. You're still not out of the woods, because liability insurance covers you, but then who knows if they'll try to go after you personally, or there's just all kinds of ways that things can go wrong in a hurry. And that part is much more insulated in the online world. I didn't worry about it too much, Dominic. We were in a really small town, and the thought of somebody suing us if they came in and tripped and fell or something like that was not really a worry, because everybody kind of knew everybody else, and we knew most people, and it wasn't as big a worry. Something like New York or Boston or Los Angeles, where I'm sure that, you know, there's plenty of people that are sue happy, and that's how they make their money. I would be really nervous, like super nervous. Yeah. But luckily for us, we got our liability insurance, and we were able to, you know, take care of that pretty easily. And it wasn't really rolling around too much in the back of our brain. But
Yeah.
Bigger city, I would be worried.
I'm down in Tampa, Florida, so we're kind of a big market.
Yeah.
And to say something about what Robinson said, I got a call years and years ago, like back in the 90s, from the San Diego Zoo. Some guy wanted me to come out and unlock his car. And it was a big joke for me from the longest time. It's like, yeah, let me hop a flight. I'll be right over. But now with Builderall, I can have a customer out in San Diego. I can have one around the world. This is amazing. You know, I'm no longer limited by my geographics. It's
right.
wonderful.
It is. It is amazing. And again, that goes to that kind of realization, that point in time where you're like, I can do anything. So now I have to step into that, right? I'm no longer bubbled in by worrying about being expendable. I'm not expendable. There's no person on this planet that can fire me except for me, right? There's no person that can fire me except for me. Not that I've had a long history of being fired, right? I was always a good worker. I always had good reports. It was all good. I'm not saying I was a bad employee or anything like that. It's just that that's still a worry when you have bills to pay and things to do. You want to make sure you're doing the right things at work so that you stay employed and you get that paycheck. It's funny now because I don't think of myself that way. And if I ever had a real like job again, like go to work at such and such a time, I would probably be like a way worse employee because I would walk in going, you need me. I don't actually need you. So I'll do my job, but I'm going to be doing it on more my terms than your terms. Right. I'd be like, this is the way I'm going to do it. And this is how it's going to happen. Because if you don't need me anymore, I'll go make twice as much over here by myself.
Sure.
Right?
May I say something else about what we're doing as entrepreneurs, also about Builderall that's very important to me. So like right now, there's things that I experienced in life that let me know some things are not guaranteed. I grew up thinking like disability, Social Security, and all that stuff, like everyone else think that's automatic. And I found out in real life experience it isn't. So that's another thing that led me into doing internet marketing. What I like about Builderall is that not just because we're on the internet that we can reach people all around the world, but what I experienced with Builderall is that with Builderall, we can reach people in other countries legally with the GDPR, but with other platforms I was using, we couldn't. The other thing is with the new feature of that, what's that, CDN, we can also reach people in other countries. And it's like me with the industry that I'm in now, it allows me to communicate with people. Well, in the currency industry, every people around the world needs currency. But that doesn't mean around the world people are taught how to create currency. Even in the United States, they're not taught. But because of the legality of the way they how Builderall is shaped, I'm able to reach people worldwide. And it was very surprising to me because, say, like in Kuwait, of all countries, a kid 16 years old contacted me about, learning how to do that because they teach currency trading in their curriculum. But yet, if it wasn't for the legality of the way Builderall is structured, I couldn't have communicated with it.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of other platforms don't have that. Now, how does that fit into entrepreneur? A lot of people don't even know that there are some things they can't do on the internet unless their platform that they're using is properly structured. The other benefit is that you can't tell a robot that. You have to program the robot to understand it, but that does not mean that it's going to have the understanding that how to create or how to fit within the rules of that GDPR so that it could transcend into another country. So
Right.
Builderall to me, it opened up the reality of what can be done in life by a person versus what can be programmed into a robot to get done in place of a person.
Mm-hmm. And you guys are able to meet people exactly where they're at. You have that human factor to be able to meet a person where it's at, rather than a robot that's going to be doing, maybe they may do an evaluation, but it's very sterile evaluation. You have that human factor. You can do exactly like I do, right? And look in your eyeballs to see if you're getting it. That's the human factor. And I can see in your eyeballs, if you're all doing this, you're probably not getting it. Or if you're doing this, you probably got it, right? So as a teacher, as a person that's trying to guide you on this product and this project, I have a little bit of advantage over a robot. A robot could probably teach you all of this. You can probably program it in, and they could teach you all of this stuff, right? It'd be no big deal. But they're just not going to be able to look at your eyeballs like Shelly does, so that I can see, are they getting it or are they not? Do I need to back up and reteach it a different way or say it a different way? That's the human factor. And when you think about that, when you talk about Builderall, you've got a platform that allows you to do that no matter what you're doing, right? You can deal with your customers that way, and new clients, and even new people that are added to your Builderall team. Davida?
Yeah. And robots does not have the ability to feel things, to create relationships and connect with people. Right. I have people here that I've connected with. Some of the, like Davida has a product on Builderall that I think is a free course that I'm planning on checking out and subscribing to. And that's because of before Builderall, I did not know Davida and probably would not have taken the time to understand what that program is about. But because of the relationship through these meetings that has been created, I want to know more about that because I understand the quality of person that created that product. And the same way with David. David don't know it. I'm not going to tell David that now. I'm planning on sometime this year, next year, going to Ireland just so I can.
Oh my gosh.
But it's the reality of what we're able to do through Builderall and how we're able to reach people and do things. And for me, it allows me to be free to be me. Mm-hmm. But then again, what makes it possible for me to understand the power of Builderall is the awesomeness of you. I understood how to create sales funnels, and I did, but this thing here is a beast. And it allows me to do a lot of things. So not just Builderall, but how Builderall is structured and the need that is able to fulfill for each one of us and other folks that are coming.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree, guys. I think you've hit the nail on the head. And typically I would save this conversation for the end of the session for sure. But you guys have actually taken it and run with it. And I'm really glad because, again, it's all part of getting you to that mindset. You can do anything. And please hear me now and listen to me later, or listen to me now and hear me later, whatever it takes. Let it roll around in your brain a little bit. You can do anything. There should never be a moment that I want any one of you guys to sit back and go, well, I'm just not good enough. I'm just gonna drop this Builderall thing because I'm just not good enough. Oh my gosh, no, all of you guys are good enough. All of you guys have the ability. The tools are there. The training is there. So the only thing you have to have truly is the desire. If you have a true desire, you're going to get it done. Davida?
Shelly, there's one thing that years ago, before all the laws changed. So, when society looked at people with disabilities and, shoved you in the corner and you couldn't. And everyone was telling me, you can't. It was like, for me, said, I'm going to prove you wrong. And when I couldn't find a job, what I did was figure out, well, I would have been an entrepreneur anyway, but it was like I went into it not quite being ready financially, which meant it was more of a struggle for me. But it's like I never gave up because I believed I could do it.
Mm-hmm. And that's that determination, Davida, that I think a lot of people with disabilities either have or they don't. I mean, they'll either believe it and not do anything and be okay with that, or they will not believe it, which is you and I, And we never accept can't. And my dad was always the one to say, did you just say can't? Did you just actually say can't? Because that's not allowed in our house. We don't say can't. So I was raised that way. And I was told as well, there was many things that I could not do. And I kind of kiboshed all of them. There hasn't been anything. The only thing that I have not done that I set out to do, I went to Six Flags down in Dallas, and they have a ride there called the Titan. And the Titan, I'm a huge roller coaster fan, right? Huge. Oh my gosh, I will ride roller coasters all day. And so I was really excited about the Titan because it goes like super high up, like 64,000 stories up. And then when it goes down, it actually kind of turns back on itself. So it goes more than 90 degrees, right? So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going, let's do this. And got to the place where you actually get into the little carts. And at that time, I had not had my amputation, and my right leg didn't bend. That was one of the problems I had before I had the amputation, is the right leg stayed straight. And this was one of those little cars that when you got in, the back of the seat was all the way down to the floor. So you had just that space for your legs where you had to bend your legs. So I got into the car and I was like, it's okay, I can fit. Because I had a teeny tiny bit that so I actually sat in it sideways and tried to pull the thing down, kind of laid down in the seat and tried to pull the thing down. I did everything I could. And they finally said, no, you're just not able to ride that. We can't let you ride for safety reasons. You can imagine going like 60 miles an hour laying across the seat probably wouldn't be a good idea. So I was willing to take the risk, but they were not. So they would not let me ride. So that's actually a goal of mine. I haven't been down there since the amputation yet, but now that the right leg can bend, the next goal is to actually go to Six Flags in Dallas and ride the Titan and say, okay, nothing has defeated me.
It's my turn now.
That's right. That's exactly it.
Shelley, one more thing. I have to wear this so that I can go heel toe. Without it, my
hold it up more. I didn't actually see it.
Up. Yeah, there he goes.
Oh, nice.
And that's because that's what they do, what they have now, and not the old brace that was iron.
Uh-huh.
And permanently in the shoe.
Oh yeah. I've always had some kind of brace or something. So yeah, I can relate completely.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, what I was saying was Davida and I may have a disability that is very visible, but I don't think we're any different than anybody else. It's funny because people are like, oh, you're so brave. It's like, no, because I'm sure in your brain, there's something that you're fighting that's probably worse than the actual visible disability that I have, that you have to overcome.
Well, so people look at me and they say, oh, I don't know how you put a pillowcase on. I don't know how you do it. It's like, I do it with one hand because I've never known any other way to do it.
Well, and if you don't do it, it's not going to get done. So if you want a pillowcase on, you better figure out how to do it, right?
I mean, I tie my shoes with one hand. That's it. One hand. I learned how to tie my shoe with one hand myself.
That's fabulous. And I think that, Davida, you are a perfect example to explain to people. Your disabilities are visible. Other people's are not. And some of those disabilities are more mental than physical. Mm-hmm. And that's where that mindset comes in of overcoming. So where you might look at Davida and say, oh my gosh, you're so brave. You need to look at the next person there too, that may not have a physical disability, but they've conquered that mental, not disability, but that mental challenge of getting over that hump of saying, I'm not good enough, or what if, or I don't want to lose my job because I've got security there, or, something like that. Those are very real fears. And sometimes those can be more debilitating than the actual physical disability that a person actually has. So,
I was just going to say something there. I was listening to Tari. It was very interesting about what he was doing before. And a thing came into my head, and it's sort of thinking about it made me sort of say, right, a lot of people in this business will come in and say, oh, God, I sell a product now. I'm waiting for a month or 2 months to get my money. A lot of people come up with that and say, oh, yeah, right, Now, for those sort of people, I'm going to tell you, I farmed. When I left school, I was a farmer. I went down and studied agriculture, went farming. You go in with a tractor and a sowing machine and you sow the field, right? You bring the cows you bring the yo, or ewe, some people call it, that's the female sheep, to the ram, right? Every single thing on a farm takes time to make money. So anybody that sort of thinks, oh, I'm not going to be paid for a month, think about it. 1 month is nothing. And then down the line, over the year, every month you'll be getting an income. I was just sorry about that, Tyree. Now I just cut across you.
Oh, no problem. Only thing I was going to say is, like, for me, when you're speaking of disabilities, I have, I have a disability that happened to me. We don't plan on things to happen, but I was involved in an auto accident. I was a passenger. Now, professional driver, I was a passenger, and it not only hurt me physically, but it hurt my life. Meaning that the things that I was able to do to create income, I couldn't do anymore because physically and mentally, I could not perform those actions. The internet I was exposed to internet. It made life a reality to be able to do things, but without having a system to remove the limits. I had to restructure my life, restructure everything I knew how to do. Well, with Builderall, it allows me to be free from limitations on the internet of what can and can't be done. And I had to learn new things and restructure my life in the way that I can do things. And because of Builderall, even though I have a life-threatening disability, but Builderall frees me from that reality. And I can now, I can now leave home electronically through Builderall and do everything that needs to be done that I could no longer physically do, because the stamina and the level of doing to be successful is not there physically anymore, but it's there electronically through Builderall.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
That's fabulous. And that's very exciting because, again, once you get over that mindset and understand that you are capable, right? There's no longer, I am disabled. You go, I am capable, and this is what I'm capable of doing. And once you have that power and you understand it fully, there's no stopping you. And then nothing matters all of a sudden. It's like you wake up in the morning and you say, I'm going to make something today. And that's how you operate. So can you find that sound? Hold on. There we go. All righty. There we go. All right. So yeah. Hold on. So, there we go. I'm catching the rebounds, you guys. Hang in there. All right. Did I get them? I think so. They were kind of bouncing around for a while. But anyway, thank you guys for sharing your stories. Thank you for sharing your heart. Because in business, sometimes we don't get that, right? Sometimes it gets to be very sterile and people are not their authentic selves. Sometimes it's fake it till you make it. And you guys are so authentic and so real that I applaud you, because that's not always easy.
What happened?
Think she crashed.
Yep.
I think so, yeah.
Stories that help other people understand that they can go. Am I back yet? Am I back yet? Okay. But what I was saying is your stories, your sharing, your heartfelt words are going to be the words that help somebody else. This is on YouTube. It's live right now. It will be on the replay. There's going to be somebody somewhere in the world that's going to watch this, and they're going to hear what Robson said, or they're going to see what Tyree said, or they're going to hear what Davida said. And they're all of a sudden, there's going to be an epiphany in their brain, and they're going to say, oh my gosh, I'm unlimited. All this time I thought I was limited. And now this very moment, I've just realized I'm unlimited. It's up to me. So I applaud you very much, because it is a really big deal. Gabriel?
Yeah, let me share this since we spoke about disability. I just I saw this at my father's church this past Sunday night. I'm gonna share my screen, and this is so touchy. It just blew my mind. Do you see this? Do you see my screen?
Yes.
I'm not gonna play this because it's in church, but he showed this gentleman. He's missing 3 limbs. He's missing 1 hand and both feet. He only has 1 hand. Watch this screen. I'm gonna, I hope you can see the screen. He's got the prosthetic legs, right?
Wow.
He's doing baking at home, 1 hand.
Wow.
And he graduated because of his disability. He went back to high school and he graduated high school.
Wow.
So watch this. This is so emotional for me. And he's doing, look at the repairs. He's doing one. He went to the university. He's climbing the stairs by himself. Look at that. He's doing tiles in the bathroom. He's got 2 children. He also got married. He thought nobody's going to marry him, and he got married.
Wow.
He's working in the apartment. That's his 2 kids. That's his wedding.
Wow.
He got married. He was amazing, when because his wife pursued him to get married. Look at him, how he's doing whatever concrete work. This is the train that got him. This is the train that killed cut his limbs, by accident. And everybody told him, hey, sue the train company. I was like, man, he didn't want to cut my legs. There was a mistake on his part, on my part. And now he leaves, 3 limbs. So I thought I'd share that. I apologize. But
no, it's fabulous. It's absolutely.
It inspires everybody, because it's when I saw that, I was like, what am I crying about? I don't have the right. I don't even think about it. Not open up your mouth. Don't even think about it. It's like,
right.
Oh my God.
Right. And I think that's beautiful, Gabriel, that you shared that, because again, to me, the heartfelt sharing that we've had today, and you guys are all in that mindset right now of every one of you. I can see it on your faces. You're saying, I can do this because I am here, I am learning, and I am able. And to me, that just further solidifies that. This guy, you'd have never put that in your brain, right? If you saw him just on the street, you'd say, golly, that poor guy, right? He's probably living off the government because he can't do anything. But in his brain, he is here, he is able, and he is doing. And you guys are the same thing. You're here, you're able to do it. So just get out there and do it. And Builderall is giving you the tools to do anything you want to. That's the amazing thing. Actually, that guy, I wish I could get him into Builderall.
He's playing. Look, he's playing the pipe. He learned this because the teacher, when he went to play the pipe, the pipe or whatever you call that, you know what I mean?
Yep.
With 1 hand, he says, because you got to use both hands, you know what I mean? And you cannot play it. And he says, I don't want to teach you. And he says, no, I'm not going to give up. And he was climbing 3 floors to get to the top floor to get to the lesson. It was just amazing. I was bawling down. I was like, oh my God, amazing. It's amazing.
And sometimes the universe has to put those kind of people in front of us to remind us that, look, you don't have to work near as hard as this person, and you can have amazing things. So get to work, right?
So I hope that inspires every one of us.
Oh, it did. It did. Thank you for sharing. And again, let me reiterate, guys. I know that this is probably, we are an hour into it, but I want you to understand that sometimes you go with the flow, and you guys have said so much that, again, the right person at the right time sees this, and you will change their lives. You, not me, you will change their lives. So I applaud you because of that heartfelt sharing that you did today. It's very, 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 very genuine and very moving, and I really appreciate it.
Shirley, I just got to say something though, because it really touched my heart. And when I see that God has created us to be creative, that's how He created us. When we understand that we have a capability of doing anything that we want, anything. I'm talking about anything.
Yep.
Okay. Because we have that capacity, but we just, like you said, we just got to do it. Not worry about whatever is in the past. Just keep going forward and forward. Builderall has given us a vehicle.
That's right.
And nothing, I'm telling you, nothing can stop us now.
Right.
You got to believe. That's the word says, believe. If you don't believe, it won't happen. But if you believe, it will happen.
Yep.
Your why got to be bigger than anything else. You got to have a why.
Yep.
I got my why. I got my 2 kids. I got my wife. I want to live a legacy to my kids.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that is in my mind all the time. I don't want to die and be a burden to them. So I want to be someone that, okay, I want to leave a legacy to them. And Builderall is the vehicle that is going to be able to help me do this. Mm-hmm. It's not about me. It's not about anybody here. It's about everybody in this world. Mm-hmm. So I got to share this with you guys. I mean,
I agree.
It was the reason why I'm here today, to listen to all this conversation, all these things that we're hearing right now, especially you, Shelly. I mean, you are an amazing woman. I'm telling you.
Thank you.
You are an amazing woman. And I keep praying for you that whatever you're doing now, you surpass what you're going to do, not only this year, but next year also as well.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Davida.
When I lived in Atlanta, I'm a Georgia girl, born and raised. But when I lived in Atlanta and they were bidding for the Olympics, they refused to bid for the Paralympics. Mm-hmm. And the disability community got together and bid for it and brought it in. And then the head of the IOC went in that year and changed the bylaws so that any host country from then on, when they bid for one, they were automatically bidding for both.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
So that now the Paralympics follows the Olympics into the host city 2 weeks later. And remember, what was it? Pistorius, he went from being in the Paralympics to the Olympics. Mm-hmm. And now which is understandable, mm-hmm. But it was, he kind of killed his own career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Literally, yeah. Yep. Yes, but
question for everybody here, lads. Right, we're saying we're worldwide. Where are we all from?
Oh, I'm from the great state of
Savannah, Georgia.
Right, I'm from Dublin, Ireland. Bradley, where are you from?
I'm from Chicago, originally from Romania.
Excellent. Wow. Excellent. Okay,
Island.
Brad, where are you from?
Did it go?
We've got Bradley and Karen.
We got a Georgia lady. Where's Willie from?
From the Virgin Islands?
Yes.
Who's from the Virgin Islands?
Yes.
That's great.
Who's from the Virgin Islands?
Shawana,
nice one. Cool.
We won't make everybody say, because there are actually stalkers out there that if they say where they're from, the stalkers will try to find them. So we'll be careful with that.
What I'm trying to say is we're worldwide, folks.
I haven't ever had a stalker though, so I'm open to a stalker as long as you're a nice stalker.
Well, I'm not afraid of stalkers anyway, so because God is protecting me anyway, so I don't worry about those.
There you go.
I'm originally from Brazil, and I came here in 1976. I've been here. Actually, I went to New York. Now I moved to New Jersey. So I've been living here since. I
have an uncle in Morristown. Well, he used to be in Morristown. Anyway, yeah, that's
fabulous. Well, let's go ahead and focus ourselves on the Tripwire funnel. This is my very favorite funnel. And what we're going to do today is actually build the Tripwire funnel, and we're going to deliver the products in a membership area. So what we're doing is we're creating a situation where they're going through and purchasing the product, and the act of purchasing the product is going to release the membership area so they can get into there and get their product. This is a fabulous way to protect digital products. So when we did the funnel before, and we did that previous sales funnel, and we said you could just deliver it in just a regular page, you create a page, put a download button. The issue with that is that if the person goes to that page, they get the link, they can give that link to anybody, or they can keep the link themselves and actually sell your product and give access to somebody else, just as if you were selling it. There's no protection there. So the protection of the membership site is actually fabulous, because you can restrict it to only people that have bought your product, and you give them access and they get to go in and get your product. So we're going to go through that setup. It actually probably won't take too terribly long. We're going to do a lead magnet, of course, and then we're going to do the Tripwire offer. The Tripwire offer is just a irresistible offer that is so good that when they look at it, they're like, forget it. I'm pulling out my credit card and I'm going to get that. That's obvious, right? And then because they pulled out their credit card, when they see the next one, which is the core offer, that core offer, they've already got their credit card out. It's just a simple click of a button and they buy that. So they're already in a buying mode. It is, again, a psychology type thing when you're building that funnel. It's just like Walmart, right? When you go to Walmart and you've got a buggy full of stuff and you go in to check out and you're standing in line waiting, they've got all these little things for sale on both sides of you. These are things that you're never going to buy on your own. You're not going to walk into Walmart and buy, like my husband bought, this is so funny. He bought a pig, a little pig like this, that was a suction cup. And you actually put it on your phone and it makes your phone stand up when you're trying to watch your phone, right? He'd have never gone into Walmart and go and said, today I'm going to buy a pig and it's going to be a suction cup and I'm going to put it on my phone so I can make it stand up when I'm watching. He'd have never said that. But while he was standing there, that thing was kind of sitting there and he was like, oh, I'm spending $65,000 anyway. I might as well add that to the cart. And it's kind of like this idea, right? The irresistible offer is actually the low end offer. You're getting them to pull out the credit card. And then when they get to the core offer, they're in a spending mode already. They've already got the credit card stuff there. So it's the next step. And again, these are all things that are related to each other. So you're not going to do underwater basket weaving lead magnet, and then how to train your puppy as the Tripwire offer, and then how to shave your hair bald as the core offer, because none of those are related. So they're all going to actually be very related, and one's going to lead to the next item, right? So that's what we're going to build today. And we're going to make sure that all of those things are delivered in a membership area, and they're all restricted so that the only way you can get into the membership area to get those products is to actually have paid. If they didn't pay, they don't get in, okay? So let's go ahead and jump in and start doing that. And I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Oops, before I do, let me get my, PowerPoint up so we can draw it out. Oh, there it is, it's actually already up, isn't that funny? That's too cool. All right, we'll share my screen. And this is the drawing from yesterday. So we're just gonna add a new slide in here. There we go. And I'll get rid of all this noise right here. And then I'm just gonna go into full screen mode and we'll do some drawing. So this one's gonna actually be a Tripwire funnel. And we've got some main components of the Tripwire funnel, including the opt-in page. So we'll go like this. There we go. And that is the opt-in. And again, please forgive my drawing because I'm a terrible drawer with a mouse. There's the opt-in. And then from the opt-in, we're going to make sure that we go to the email confirmation page, right? That's really important. So this is the email. I'm just going to call it the EC, you guys. Make it easy. There we go. So we got the EC. And then from here, when we go to the opt-in, we have our confirmation email. Just like that. And then when we go to confirm our email, we're going to have the Tripwire offer. So I'm going to do trip. Oh my gosh, my writing gets worse as I go, actually. Tripwire offer. There we go. And remember, from this confirmation email is how they're going to get there. And then from the Tripwire offer, they're going to do the checkout, and then they'll go to the core offer. So this is the core offer. This is where we really want them to spend their money. And then from the core offer, after they buy that, we want them to go to the thank you page. Okay, we don't want to sell them anything else in this one. If you want to keep selling them things, you absolutely can. But for this purpose, we're just going to send them straight to the thank you page. And I'm going to make this a dual purpose thank you page. I'm going to also make it a member access page. So member access. So what's going to happen is there's going to be buttons on this page, and it's going to take them to get their lead magnet. It's going to take them to get their Tripwire offer, and it's going to take them to get their core offer. So there'll be 3 buttons on there, 1, 2, 3. And those buttons will go to the membership areas. So we got member area 1, member area 2, and member area 3. So I'm just going to call those member area. So MA, MA1, and MA2, and MA3. And we'll have the member area 1 as the lead magnet. I'm going to just write that in so you remember what's in there. That's the lead magnet. This is the Tripwire item or product. Oh my gosh. Can you guys even read that? And this is the core product. There we go. Fabulous. And this button will go here. This button will go here. And this button will go here. Now here's the magical part of it. Let's say they do the opt-in and they get this little lead magnet. Let me write that down so you remember that's what we're doing. So lead magnet. So they go ahead and opt in for the lead magnet. Now this one, we have a membership area, and we're going to set it up so that they can get into it if they confirm their email address. So that's the restriction to get in, is this first one right here. They have to have confirmed their email address. If they do that, they're allowed in. If they don't confirm their email address, we're not giving it to them, right? And then the second one, the Tripwire offer, if they purchase it, it will release this area so they can get in. If they don't purchase it, if they go out of the funnel and they don't purchase it, they're not going to get access. And then the core offer, if they purchase it, they're going to be able to go to the third membership area. If they don't purchase it, then they're not going to be able to go. They're just not going to be able to get in. So what happens here on this member access page is that they end up clicking this button, and if they confirm their email, they'll get in. If they didn't, it'll say access denied. The second button, which goes to the second area, if they bought it, they'll get in. If they didn't, they'll get a message that says access denied. The third button, if they bought the item, they'll get in. If they didn't, it will say access denied. So we've got all kinds of ways to set it up so that we can sell them a product and actually get them in, which is fabulous. Okay. So let's go ahead and go through the process of making our pages first. So I need an opt-in page, email confirmation, Tripwire offer, core offer, and then a thank you page with 3 buttons to access the member areas. So let's go ahead and get that done. So I'm going to go ahead and, oops, go back to share my screen. And we'll exit out of here. We'll keep the drawings because that would be bad if it all disappeared, right? So we're going to go into our test account. And we're going to make a brand new funnel. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the Pixel Perfect Builder and new website. And we'll start with the blank one. And I'm going to go with the truly blank one here. And I'm going to go to edit. And then the first thing that we always do when we're working on our website is we click save. And we save that template. So I'm going to call it Tripwire Funnel Training Bootcamp Training. Let me see if I can spell that right. Well, I'm still not spelling it right. There we go. And click send. And then I save. And now all this is saved. If I need to, every time I need to, I click save, and I can always go back and edit some more. So now I need to go ahead and create my pages. This one is going to be the opt-in page. So I'm going to go ahead and name it opt-in. That's usually how I do this. And remember, we're doing just the skeleton. This is not going to look pretty. There we go. Opt-in page right there. And we know on the opt-in page, we're going to need an email marketing form. So I'll just go ahead and pull that in now. I won't configure it or anything. We'll just set it up now. And I'll click save and save again. And then the next page I need is my email confirmation page. So I'm just going to go into the layout and I'm going to go to that page and I'm going to click the gear. And I'm going to go ahead and name it opt-in just so I can see it on the list as the opt-in page. And save that. And then go back in and I'm going to duplicate that page. So I'm just going to copy it and click confirm. Now I've got the next page. The next page is going to be my email confirmation page. So I can take that off. I can rename it. There we go. And remember, we would add information here on how to confirm their email. So step 1, check your email. Step 2, click the confirm to confirm the email. Step 3, congratulations, you're confirmed. So we'd have those instructions here. And then I'm going to go ahead and rename the page so that says email confirmation. So I can see that on my list. There we go. And I'll click save. And so now you see I have my opt-in and I have my email confirmation. The next page is going to be the Tripwire page. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate and confirm. And now I have this page. So I'll just rename it. This is the Tripwire offer. Fabulous. And we'll make sure that we rename the page as well. So I'll go into those settings and call it the Tripwire offer page. Fabulous. And I'll click save. So now I've got those 3 pages. The next page I need is going to be the core offer page. So I'm just going to go ahead and click my gear.
I'm taking a class.
I had to ask you a question. That's okay. Don't say I didn't try to tell you.
Hold on. Let me see if I can find that. I think we got it. All right, so we've got the copy of the Tripwire. We'll call this the core offer. So I'm just going to change the name of it. Fabulous. Just like that. And then we'll change the name here. So now we got the core offer page. And I'm going to go ahead and save that because we've actually done a lot. We don't want to lose anything. And then the last page I believe I need is the thank you page. So let's go ahead and make that happen. So we'll go into there. There's my core offer page. I'm just going to copy it. That's all I'm going to do. And I'm going to change the name of it to say thank you page. Fabulous. And then we'll change this right here to say thank you page. Fabulous. And we'll do save and save again. All right. So now let's go ahead and take a look at our PowerPoint. And we're looking at this one right here. So we did the opt-in page. We got the email confirmation page, Tripwire offer, core offer page, and the member access page. So we've got all the pages made. Now we need to be thinking about the membership areas because we actually have to have membership areas as well. So each of those are going to have to go into their own layout. When you start to protect an area, you're actually protecting an area, not a specific page, but a whole layout. So for each of these member areas, they're going to be an individual layout. So let's take a look at our structure and see if we can do that. So here's our main structure. We have the default layout. I'm going to go ahead and name this unprotected so that you guys can see and remember every time we see it that it's the unprotected layout. So all I need to do that is click that little arrow and then go to this layout settings. And where the title is, I'm going to call it unprotected. And then click save. And now if I look at all my layouts, I've got my unprotected area. Okay, so that's fabulous. That is where all the pages are at, where anybody can get to those pages at any time. They're not protected in any way. Okay, so now I'm going to add my membership areas, and each one is going to be its own layout. So I'm just going to go ahead and click add layout. And I can choose any of these layouts that I want to. There's a ton of templates. If I've got a pre-made layout, I can choose my layouts and actually choose a layout that I've already got that exists. I'm going to go like super simple, and I'm just going to go blank page. So I'm going to click blank page. And when I do that, I'm going to click this item right here, which is truly a blank page. And I'm going to click the check mark. And I'm going to name the layout. That's the biggest thing that I have to remember to do. So we're just going to call this member area 1 and confirm. And what it does for me is it creates a new layout. And then it actually, if I click in there, it's created a single page. That single page is the page we're going to use to deliver the little lead magnet. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click on there, and I'm just going to say lead magnet to remind me that this is the page that delivers lead magnet. Fabulous. We'll go lead magnet. And then I'm going to click save. And then, of course, I'm going to put a title on there. So whenever I land on that page, I can see that that is actually the lead magnet page. Here we go. Great. So I have that all ready to go, and I'll click save to make sure that I keep it. And I need to make another membership area. This membership area is going to deliver the Tripwire offer. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my layouts. I'm going to add a new layout, and I'm just going to go blank again. And this one, I'm going to make it real simple, member area 2. And I'm going to click confirm. So there's member area 2. I'm going to go into member area 2, look at that page. And this one's going to be the Tripwire offer. So I'm going to go ahead and name it that. So when I see it, I remember that's the Tripwire offer. And then I'll click save. And then, of course, I want to go ahead and put the label on the page so that when I land on the page, I know which page I'm on. So this is the Tripwire offer. Fabulous. Okay, we're doing good. We're almost cooking with gas. So now we've got one more member area to add. So we're going to go to the page icon again. There's all of our layouts, and I'm going to add one more layout. And this one, I know this is going to be hard to believe, but it's going to be member area 3 and confirm. So now I have member area 3, and I'm going to go ahead and click that arrow to go inside. And this one's the core offer. So I'm going to name this page core offer to remind me. Here we go. And click save. And then I'll put the label on the page as well to make sure when I land on it, I remember that that really is the core offer page. There we go. Fabulous. All right, so now we've got all of our member areas made. We've got the pages made, and now we can start thinking through some other things having to do with our website. So let's take a look at our drawing and see where we're at. So we've got the opt-in page made. We've got the email confirmation page made. We've got the Tripwire offer made, core offer made, member access page made. We've got the member area 1, 2, and 3 created. So now let's talk about how to connect pages, okay? So the first thing we're gonna have to do is set up our opt-in page to actually connect to the email confirmation page. And to do that, we need to work with our opt-in form. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna go all the way back to the very beginning to the unprotected area to the opt-in page right there. And we're just gonna make it really simple. I'm gonna right click it. I'm gonna go to configure and mailing boss. And I'm gonna grab that standard list that we always seem to grab. Well, actually grab the wrong one. Let me see here. Let me save and save again. And let me see what account I'm in. Hold on just a second. Oh, I'm in Tavis's account. So I'm gonna have to create a new email list. This is a little bit different account, which is great. So I'm going to go to Mailing Boss, and we're just going to create a list really fast. So I'm going to go to Access Mailing Boss. And the fastest way to create a list is to just click right here and go to Create a New Subscriber List. And for here, I'm going to say Tripwire Funnel Training. And then we'll copy and paste that to the display name and the description and continue. And then all this information is correct. The only thing I want to change is on the opt-in, I'm going to make sure it's double opt-in. Opt-out, I always make it real easy for them and do a single opt-out. If they don't want to stay, I don't want them to stay. And everything else is fine. So I'm going to click Next. And then the custom fields, I want to capture their email and I want to capture their first name. So those are the two important pieces of information I want. So I'm going to click Save Changes. Now it's going to go through some of the stock emails and stock pages that I have. I'm not going to make any changes to those, but I want you to take a look at this one. This is the important one right here. This is the subscribe confirmation email. This is the exact email that's going to go out once they subscribe to my email list. And it's going to have that click here button to be able to confirm their subscription. So that's the email you'll change if there's any special information you want to put in there. I think I've shared with you the only information that I would change is I would not tell them the name of the list, because the name of this list is Tripwire Funnel Training, right? So it would say, please click here to confirm your subscription on the list, Tripwire Funnel Training. So you wouldn't want them to know that. So you could take all that out and just say, please click here to confirm your subscription, right? And then leave everything else in there the same. But for you guys, I won't change it. And then I'm going to click Save and Next. And we've got another stock page, which is pending subscribe. This is the page that they'll go to once they click to submit the opt-in form. If you don't set the opt-in information, the change URLs. Remember, we're going to go to change URL in just a few minutes and change the URLs of where they need to go to if they click on that form and subscribe. But if you don't have those set, you'll end up going to the pending subscribe page. This is a really ugly page, so you always want to set your URLs. I'm going to go to Save and Next. And then the unsubscribe confirmation email. This is the email that's sent out if they unsubscribe. And then the stock welcome email. This is by default is turned off. So I just always blow through it because I create my own welcome emails. And now I'm back to the actual subscriber list overview. And I got to do one more thing. And this is a personal thing. You don't have to do it. But for me, I always go back into the fields and take a look at those two fields that I set up, which is the email and the first name. And in those fields, right now it's set up to show email first and then first name. And I cannot abide by that. The universe doesn't work well when that happens. So for me, I always set email as number 2 in the sort order, and then first name as number 1 in the sort order. That way it shows as first name first and then email. And then I need to make sure that where it says required, that email says yes and first name says yes. So they're required to give an email and they're required to give at least a first name. Once you set those, you can click Save Changes. And now that email list is actually ready to go. So now I can go back into my HTML editor and I can right click and go to Configure and Mailing Boss. And there's our Tripwire Funnel Training. So I'm going to click on that and it's now connected. I'm going to go ahead and click Save and save again. And that's the first step of setting up our opt-in. The second step is where do we want them to go after they fill out this form? We've connected them to the Mailing Boss subscriber list where the data is going to go, but where is the person going to go? What page do we want to serve up after they fill out this form? So I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to change URL. And then from here, I've got several options. Because we're doing a double opt-in list, which you should always do, they're going to hit a pending subscribe page first. And that pending subscribe means, hey, you're halfway subscribed. You still have work to do. So where do we want them to go before they're actually confirmed? and we want to send them to that email confirmation page. So I'm going to click here to no action, and I'm going to click page, and then I'm going to select the email confirmation page and then click OK. Then when they check their email and they confirm, they click that confirm link, then where do we want them to go? Well, we want them to go to that Tripwire offer. So I'm going to click no action. I'm going to click page. I'm going to click select, and I'm going to go to the Tripwire offer page. And then I'm going to click OK. And now the last one, unsubscribe, you could actually create an unsubscribe page so that if they click the unsubscribe button in the email, you could set it up so that they go to a specific page that says, we're so sorry that you are unsubscribing. We hate to see you go, but we understand everybody gets a ton of email. It's okay. We won't hate you forever. So you can actually create a page for all that. Or you could circle them back and take them right back to the opt-in form if you want to. It's all up to you where you want to send them. But that's all that means is in the emails that they get from you, every one of them will have an unsubscribe link. Where do you want them to go if they click that? Okay, so you put the URL of where you want them to go right there. I'm just going to leave it as no action because we're not going to deal with unsubscribe. Okay, I'm going to click confirm and then confirm again. And now my opt-in page is actually done, and I'll click save to make sure everything sticks. So far, what have we done? What we've done is we've set it up. So if you sign up here, you're sent first to this page. Then they're going to go confirm their email. Once they do that, they're sent to that page. So now we're on the Tripwire funnel or Tripwire offer. So now we have to figure out how do we get them from the Tripwire offer to pay for the product and then end up at the core offer. That's the next step. Okay, we got to get them from Tripwire to core offer. So let's go ahead and figure that out. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to my pages. And we'll go back to the Tripwire offer page. So I'm going the unprotected area. And I'm going to go ahead and go to the Tripwire offer page. There we go. And here is where it's going to work a little bit different. Remember in the training that we did yesterday, we went through and set up all those upsells, downsells, yada, yada, yada. And then we had all those beautiful buttons that we could do. We just added the buttons to the page and it was done. Well, what we're going to do here is we're going to do it with checkout. So we're going to go ahead and set up an individual checkout on this page. So to do that, I'm just going to go ahead and go to plus. And I'm going to find where my checkout is, which is all the way down at the bottom. So I'm going to click that. And I've got several different checkout options. There's the first checkout right here, which is like a 3-step checkout, a 2-step checkout, and a 1-step checkout. I really like the 1-step checkout. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And we'll add that to the page. And we're just going to drag it down a little bit so it doesn't cover up our words. There we go. And now we've added the checkout, but we have to configure the actual offer because right now our offer is not in there. So to do that, all we need to do is right click it and go to change offer. And that opens up our offer window. And there's a lot we can do here that actually will set up being able to not only sell the product, but jump to the next page. So it's absolutely fabulous what we can do. But before we configure this too much, I want to go ahead and put the checkout on the other page, the core offer page. And then I want to protect our membership areas because before I can finish the offer, the membership areas have to be protected. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this checkout right here, not configured. And I'm going to click save. There we go. Fabulous. And then I'm going to go to the core offer and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add a checkout. So I'm going to go to plus and add my checkout. And I'll do the 1-step checkout again. There we go. Move it down a little bit. And now that we've got the checkouts added, let's go ahead and protect our membership areas. All right, we've got 3 of them to protect. So we need to start thinking about how do we want them to get into those membership areas? What is the criteria for them to get in? So let's take a look at each of those membership areas. So membership 1, that was the lead magnet, right? The only thing they're supposed to do to get in there is confirm their email. That's all we want them to do. They don't have to buy anything or do anything terribly special. They just have to confirm their email. So let's go ahead and go into that membership area. And to protect it, all I'm going to do is click this little icon right here. Looks like a padlock. It's restricted area settings. So I'm going to go ahead and click it. And that's going to start a wizard for me. And hold on just a second. I'm hearing some rumblings. Let me see if I can. Here we go. All right. Hopefully that helped. And we'll go ahead and share screen again. So all I've done is I've clicked that little padlock and I've opened up a restricted area setting. And from here, I can start going through this wizard to decide how I want to grant access to this membership area. That's going to give them their free lead magnet, okay? So first I have to name it. So let's go ahead and call it a lead magnet restriction. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and click the next button. And then it says, how do you want them to register? Do you want them to register by signing up and accessing via email and password? Or are they going to access by token? So I'm going to use allow users to access and by email and password. That's the best way. So I'm going to go ahead and click next. And then it says, how do we want to grant access? So we've got several options here. We can grant access automatically, which means they get in, they try to get in, they get in. There's no restriction. There's no anything. They just, whoop, they get in. Or we can choose the second one, which is release access to the restricted area when the user confirms their email registered via Mailing Boss. And if you click the question mark, it says you just select one of your Mailing Boss lists. So we can actually select the Mailing Boss list and they will be connected. And if they're confirmed, they'll get access, which is great. So that looks like the right option for this protected area, but we're going to look further. The next one is manual payment. With this one, the only way they get in is either if you manually approve them, meaning you click a button and they get approved, or if they pay, they go through a checkout process, and through that checkout process, it's released and they get access to this area. Well, we want them by email, so we'll probably go with the second one, but we're still going to look. The fourth one, grant access automatically for active Builderall partners. This one is for you to help build your team. So in this case, if they are signed up to Builderall and they're active member, it will check their information. And if they're an active member, they'll actually be allowed to get in, okay? So after looking at all four of these, I think the answer is the second one. We're gonna release it based on when they confirm their email address. And we're going to set it so that it releases forever. But I could set it so that if they confirm their email, they only get access for a short time, for 1 day, 1 week, all the way up to just 2 years. But I'm going to release it forever. And then I'm going to click save. And now I have to decide which Mailing Boss list do I want to connect where they have to verify that they're a member. So right here, we've got Tripwire Funnel. I'm going to go ahead and select that. And I'm going to click save. And now everything should be set up. And if you'll notice, there's a little X beside that padlock. And that means that that area is now protected. It is a protected area. So if I click on it, I can go back through those settings anytime I want to. And so I've got my lead magnet restriction. I can click next. Allow people to sign up using their email and password. Next, I can release access to the restricted area when the user confirms their email via Mailing Boss. Next, there's the Mailing Boss integration. And next, save is the last one. All right, so we've restricted that area and they have to log in with a confirmed username and password. So we're going to go ahead and close that one and go back to all layouts. That member area is restricted now. So now I'm going to go to member area 2 and I'm going to click that little arrow. There's my little padlock and I'm going to click on it. And now we're restricting the area where they're going to pay for the ebook, right? The Tripwire offer. This is where they're paying for the Tripwire offer. So I'm going to call this Tripwire offer restriction. And then I'm going to click next. And I'm going to allow them to sign up with a email and password. And I'll click next. And then I'm going to grant them access after they make a payment, right? We went through all 4 of these. And the one that fits this situation is I don't want them to get into this member area until they've made a payment. So I'm going to go ahead and click that item. And if you'll notice, we get an extra item if we do that. Let me go back to this first one. See, there's 4 right there. There's only 4. But if I do manual/payment, it adds another area. So I have to click next. And I have to integrate it with Mailing Boss. I can do that from here. To me, they'll already be integrated to Mailing Boss. So I don't have to because they're already going to be on the Tripwire Funnel training. So I'm going to go ahead and click next and then checkout. So in this page, if you had not already created the pages, it would create the page for you. It would say, hey, I'll create it for you. I'll create the page. I'll create the checkout. I'll create the link. And I'll put it in the current restricted area. Or I'll create the checkout and a link within the current restricted area. Or do nothing and you can create the checkout yourself. I like creating them myself because I want my pages exactly where I want them and in the order that I want them. So my choice is always do nothing now. I can create all that from scratch and organize it probably much better. So I'm going to click do nothing now. And then you can go next you can go save. And it saves all those settings. And if you'll notice, I have the padlock right here. So now that is a protected area. You can't get in, and we set it. So the only way to get in was to be manually approved or to have paid, one or the other. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to go to member area 3. And we're going to go to this little arrow. I'm going to click the padlock and I'm going to do the exact same settings for this one. So I'll say core offer restriction. There we go. And I'll click next. And they have to sign up with an email and a password. And then I'll click next. And we're going to let them in by manual/payment. So I'm either going to manually approve them or they're going to go through a payment process. And then I'm going to click next. I'm not going to add them to a Mailing Boss list because they're already on my funnel training. So I'm going to click next. And then for the checkout, I've already created my page and I've created my checkout. So I'm going to click do nothing and then click save and close. And now you can see that area is actually saved as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click save and save again. And that has actually set up all of my checkouts so that I can now go through and attach checkouts to membership areas so that when they go through that specific checkout, it's going to release that member area to them. So let's go ahead and go back to our Tripwire offer, the unprotected area. So I'm going to go into that area, into the Tripwire offer page. And here's our first checkout. So I'm going to go ahead and start setting up our offer. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to change offer. And here we're just going to set up everything for our Tripwire offer. So I'm going to call it Tripwire offer, Shelly's Tripwire offer. And we'll copy that into the description. There we go. And now there's a couple things that we need to think through here. When they leave this Tripwire offer page, where do we want them to go? Like where do we want them to go? Well, we want them to go to the core offer page. So for the thank you page here, we're going to actually set it up so that it directs them to the core offer page. Even though that's technically not a thank you page, it's where we want them to land after they're done with this checkout. That's where we want them to go. So that is what we're using as the thank you page. Then we've got the option to send them to a downsell page. So do we want to give them the option to say no thank you to this Tripwire offer? And the answer to that is definitely no. We don't want to give them an option to say no. We want them to buy it. They're going to have to get out of the funnel completely. We don't want them to get out of it that easy. So I'm going to just leave it as nothing selected for a downsell page. Okay. And then the offer payment, In here, we're going to set it up as PayPal. And I don't think these are set up, so I'm going to have to cancel out of it. I'm sorry, you guys. Let me go into the money thing and set up our payment processor. To do that, I'm going to go to the shopping bag and go to payment manager. And we'll delete a few of these extra ones here. So I'm going to confirm that delete and confirm that delete. And we'll leave just one. And on this one, we're going to set it up as PayPal@deltapearls.com. And remember, to do this, you have to have 2 PayPal accounts to do it. So we're setting up this first one. And now we can go in and do our Tripwire offer because our payment processor set up. So I'm going to go to change offer. And again, we'll call this Shelly's Tripwire offer. And we'll copy and paste that here. And we'll set the thank you page to the core offer because that's where we want them to end up. No downsell page. The offer payment system is going to be that first example payment, which is Delta Pearls. The currency for me is going to be US dollars. And if you use Stripe, you can actually do something called postpone charges, where you can say, we will postpone charges for 10 days and you can have this for free. If you cancel within 10 days, there won't be any charge. But after 10 days, we'll charge you this much money. So that's an option that you have with Stripe only. The expiration date for this particular offer, you can set an expiration date that you no longer sell it. We want to sell this forever, so we'll leave it blank. Then automated email theme, we're just going to use the default theme. That is the abandoned cart email, the successful purchase email, those kinds of things that go out automatically from the website. And then we can choose to add this person to mailing blast list as a paying customer. We can send them to another different list. So we can the mailing blast list if we want to. But I'm not going to. We're going to keep them in the that first list just to make it simple. And then I can do custom webhooks. This is where you capture payment information and take it out of Builderall and send it into like a Google spreadsheet, or if you've got an accounting software, you can send it to. There's a lot of things you can do. If you want to know more about webhooks, you can look that up on YouTube because I've got some training on that. And then if you wanted to offer some coupons to allow them to get their price lower, you could actually set up coupons and then activate them here. We won't do that here. So I'm going to go ahead and click next. And then I've got my item. So this is looking really familiar. It's not quite the same as everything we did in the sales funnel yesterday. There's a few more things you have to set up, but everything is really close to the same. So here's my item here. And the item name, we're just going to call it Shelly's Tripwire offer. And I'm going to sell it for a whole 5 cents. And then the item description, I'm going to put as the same thing. I can allow a discount either on this single item, or if I had more than one item in here, I could actually offer the discount on all of the items on the whole offer. But for this offer, I only have one item, which is the Tripwire. So I'm not going to put a discount. So here's where I want to focus is the member area. So when they go through this purchase process, I want a member area released to them. So I'm going to check mark member area. And now I get to choose which one I'm going to be releasing. This is the Tripwire offer. So I'm going to release the Tripwire offer restriction. So I just click that. And now exactly what's going to happen is they're going to go through the payment process. And it says, all right, once you go through the payment process, you're allowed to get access to the Tripwire offer layout. Okay. I've got a couple other options here. I can create recurring payments. So if it's a monthly fee or weekly or yearly, you could do that. I could make this item on the checkout optional. So if you had several items on the offer, you could actually say, you can buy this one, but not this one, but not this one. For us, we're making it simple. We're just offering one thing. I could include shipping. And here's another neat thing. If you ever looked at free product plus shipping, you can actually make the product $0 and then include shipping. So you're basically getting the product for free and then paying only shipping to get the product to you. There's a lot of that going on right now. I actually did that with fidget spinners a couple years ago, where they didn't pay for the fidget spinner, but they paid for shipping and I sold a ton of them. So that is a very viable business to do for sure. So that is, you can include shipping if you want to. And then we've got another option that's great out here, conditional. If you have more than one item that you're selling and they're not allowed to get this item unless they purchase this item, you can actually activate conditional. And then also we've got e-learning. So if they have to go through this payment process to release an e-learning area, you can check mark that and it will allow you to release an e-learning area instead of just a member area. So the next one is email message. This is a message that appears on the email directly from you. So you can say something like, thank you for purchasing and I can't spell it right, purchasing our Tripwire offer. All right, so that's just a special message that goes out to the person that's buying the product. So now that I've got all that set and ready to go, the most important being checkmark the member area, I'm going to go ahead and click save and then confirm. And now our Tripwire offer is actually set up, and I'm going to go ahead and click save to make sure everything is saved because that's really important. And remember, we set it up. Hold on just a second. Remember, we set it up so that when they go through this purchase process, it's going to release the membership area and it's going to land on the core offer next. That's going to be the next page it lands on. So what was the question?
Yes, it is showing $10 even though you placed 5 cents.
Yeah, it will. All I have to do is do a preview and then go back and it'll show 5 cents.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it just hasn't changed the screen.
If you have a membership area with multiple products on, you have to go through this process with each product, right?
It depends on how you're delivering. For us, we've got 3 different products. We've got a free product, we've got a Tripwire product, and a core offer product. So I'm delivering them in 3 different membership areas because they have to get each one individually. If you're selling them together in a group, like say that you had one package, and you said, all right, you pay this one fee and you get all of it. Well, then you only need 1 membership area, right? Does that make sense?
What if you want to set up your membership area as a monthly recurring fee and the products are there for them to use and you're always adding new products along the way?
That's fabulous. You can, when we went through that membership area, and set up the offer, you can set up as a recurring payment, right? That's one of the options. And then you release that membership area that has that the product that you want to release. That's new information. And then it will continue to charge them monthly. And you can go into that membership area and add content as much as you want because it's just a regular website. All it is protected. Okay?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was doing.
Okay, great. Absolutely. Is everybody with me so far? You hanging in there? Okay, good.
Hey, Shelley, can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Oh, hold on. I got a question.
Yes, it's me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Shelley. Just a quick question. When you set up the mailing bus, you collecting the first name and the email. As far as, well, the little training that I've been, since I joined Builderall, is just to collect the email. Is there a reason why you also collect the first name?
Because I really there's a feature that you can do that allows you to add the first name to the page. So you can say, hello, Alejandro, instead of hello, friend. So you're collecting that first name so you can actually add it to the web page and you can also add it to your emails.
Okay.
So when you send out those emails, you're saying, hello, Alejandro, I'm so glad that you joined our website or so glad you joined our list. I'm Shelley and it's really nice to meet you. You know, you're making it personal. And to me, it's always about the know, like, and trust factor. And when you're able to capture that first name and then use it either on a web page or in an email, you are starting that process of creating a relationship of know, like, and trust.
Cool. Thanks.
Okay. You're welcome. All right. Let's do the next offer, you guys. So we're going to jump in. We got the Tripwire offer done. Let's jump into the core offer. So I'm going to go to pages and my unprotected area. And I'm going to go to my core offer page and I'll click on that one. And remember, I've got my checkout there. So now all I'm going to do is right click and go to change offer. Fabulous. And from here, I'm going to go ahead and do this as Shelly's core offer. And we'll add that as the description as well. There we go. And now I need to think about the thank you page. Where do I want them to end up after they buy the core offer? And the answer to that is the actual thank you page. So we have a thank you page. And we're doubling it as the member access page, right? So I'm going to go ahead and pull the down button, and I'm going to choose a thank you page. So that's the last page that they're going to end up on in this official funnel, where they can access all of their products. And then the downsell page. Now, when they go to this page, they're going to end up having bought the Tripwire offer, and we probably need to give them an option of purchasing or not purchasing the core offer. So when we talk about the downsell page, where do we want to send them to if they say no thank you? Right? Where do we want this? Where do we want to send them to if they say no thank you? And I want to send them to the thank you page, right? Because they haven't gone through the purchase process, so they're not getting access. If they bought the Tripwire offer, they'll get access to that. But if they just say no thank you to the core offer, they didn't go through the purchase process, so they won't get access. So for the thank you page, we're going to send them to thank you. And for the downsell page, we're going to send them to thank you. And we're going to give them an option to say no thanks. Okay. The offer payment is going to be that example payment method, which is the PayPal at deltapearls.com. The currency is US dollars. We're not going to postpone charges. We're not going to have an expiration date. We're going to use the default email theme. We're not going to send them to a different mailing boss list, but you could if you wanted to. We're not going to send out a webhook, but we could if we wanted to. We're not going to do a set of coupons, but we could if we wanted to. So I'm going to go ahead and click next. And then my item, this is Shelly's core offer. So we'll type that in. And we'll set it for 5 cents, just like that. And the description, we're just going to have the same as the name for now. And we're not going to do a discount on the item or the entire offer. The most important thing here is I'm going to check member area. And remember, this is our core offer. So I'm going to release the actual core offer restricted area. So I'm going to click on that. And I'm not going to do an expiration date. And on the email message, thank you for purchasing the core offer. There we go. So that's real easy. I've opened up my member area. So once they purchase, they'll get access to it. And now I'm going to go ahead and click save and confirm. Fabulous. So now that's set up. So now let's talk about what we've done so far. And before we do that, we want to click save and then save again. And while it's saving, we'll take a look at the PowerPoint page. And so I've set it up so far. If they opt in, they're going to bounce over here to the email confirmation page. Then once they confirm their email, they're going to bounce to the Tripwire offer page. And there, we're not giving them an option to buy. They either leave the funnel from there or they buy. It's that simple. So we'll say they buy. They go through the checkout process. When they do, they'll end up coming back and they'll end up on the core offer page. On the core offer page, they can buy it or they can say no thanks. And whichever one they do, they'll end up on the member access page or the thank you page. And then from here, how do we get to these member areas? Well, we need to make some buttons, right? We definitely need to make some buttons. So let's go back into our website and create some buttons on the thank you page. So that's easy to do. I'm going to go to the page icon. We'll go into the unprotected area and we'll go to the thank you page. And those of you that have been with me for a while, you know exactly which button I'm going to pick. So I'm going to click a button.
Blue.
And that blue round every time. It's my favorite one. And all I'm going to do is copy paste and copy paste. And we've got 3 whole buttons there that go to each of the areas that we want to give access to. So for this one, I'm going to right click it and I'm going to go to text and I'm going to say lead magnet and confirm. And for this one, I'm going to go to text and I'm going to call this the Tripwire offer. Confirm And for this one, I'm going to go to text, and we're going to call this the core offer. All right, so now we know where we want all the buttons to go to, and we need to make them go there. So I'm going to right click the lead magnet, and I'm going to go to action. And we're going to go to a page inside of our website. And inside of our website, if we scroll down this right here, there's the lead magnet page right there. So I'm going to click it and then click OK. And then the Tripwire offer, I'm going to right click it and go to action. I'm going to choose page inside of our website and click the down arrow. And there's the Tripwire offer right there. And then OK. And then the core offer, I'm going to right click it and go to action, go to page, click the down arrow and go to core offer right there. So now they are all actually going into the membership area. The kicker is that they won't get in unless they have permission. They have to satisfy those restrictions that we set. So for the lead magnet, they're not getting in unless they've confirmed their email. For the Tripwire, they're not getting in unless they paid for it. And the core offer, they're not getting in unless they paid for it. Okay? So everybody with me so far? Good? All right, fabulous. All right, so now let's...
I got a question. If I want to, in setting up the membership site, if I want them to join the membership site, how would I set it up so that the lead magnet or the whatever entitles them that to buy the, if you buy it separately, this is the price. If you go in and pay the membership, you get access to all of it.
That's all the way you present it in your website. And here's what I would suggest to you is we've talked about one-time offers, right? And how you make sure that if it's really a one-time offer, you set that price as low as you can afford to set it for the one-time offer. And then if they don't buy it, when they get into that thank you page, after they're done going through the funnel, you can offer it again at a higher price. So that's one way to do it, right? Is to go through your offer and say, here's how you can buy it now. Later, it's going to be higher and it's going to be this price. It really depends on you and how you want to present it to your people. So you have to think about your funnel and how that path you want them to take. Which way do you want to present it to them first? Do you want to sell it to them as individual products first? Or do you want to sell it to them as a package deal first? But remember, you don't want them out of your funnel. So you don't want them bouncing around a whole lot. You want to give them a direction and get them through that funnel and make a purchase. Okay? So don't give them too many options on a funnel. They'll bounce out. Okay?
Kelly, quick question.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I love this, and what's going through my mind is taking the boot camp we did on the lead magnets with all the free ebooks we got and making that a tripwire and trip it into selling Builderall, and then maybe as a downsell, I can give them, okay, well, don't go so quick. Here's a 7-day free trial, test drive it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can do that. The one way you're going to have to do that, though, is we've got customizable checkout pages. So you'll have to take advantage of that feature. That's a relatively new feature. So you'll have to customize your thank you page so that they can go through the entire purchase process and then come back to your thank you page instead of Builderall's thank you page.
Right. Yeah, I saw that, and I love that you can put in there if they're registered with Builderall, instead of maybe sending them through my checkout, I can just send them through the affiliate link, and it does everything for me in the background.
Yeah. There's a lot you can do. So I think that's probably a boot camp all in of itself, is to learn how the magical ways you can use those affiliate links. But again, this is one that you're only limited by your imagination, because for sales funnels, I've never been through a sales funnel that's been like exactly the same. Even the little lead magnet funnels that seem so simple, it's the wording, it's the way things are presented, it's everything is so different. And Davida, what she mentioned just a minute ago, can be done a myriad of ways. The most important thing to me, though, is the sales funnel itself is an exercise in understanding the psychology of the customer. So what you're really trying to do is build a path for that customer to follow, where you get at least a name and an email, and then you entice them to buy something from you. And with the Tripwire, we're enticing them to buy something low, in order to guide them into buying something high. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and jump in and see where we're at with everything. So I'm going to take a look at my PowerPoint again, and I'm just going to think through, you guys are going to see me thinking through this whole process to see, do I have it all set up yet? So right here, I did the opt-in form. It's connected to Mailing Boss. And when they click submit, it's going to go to the email confirmation page. From there, they're going to get the email, click the link, and it should take them to the Tripwire offer. When they buy the Tripwire offer, that should actually go through the payment process and take them to the core offer. Whether they do or do not buy the core offer, that will take them to the thank you page and the member access page. From there, I can click any of the 3 buttons and go into the membership areas based on whether I meet the criteria to get in there or not. So I'm going to either get in there or I'm going to get access denied. So I think I've got everything set up. You guys think I got it set up? Does it sound like I got it set up? I think so. Let's go ahead and publish this bad boy and test it out. This is always the fun part, right? This is where you go and hold your breath and hope that everything goes through perfectly. So let's go ahead and publish. To me, this is the fun part, because if something goes wacky wrong, then you've got the next challenge of figuring out why did it go wacky wrong. And every time, as frustrating as it can be, you guys, every time this happens, you learn something new. So don't fight it. It's easy to fight it. It really is easy to fight it. You're like, dingly ding, darn it. But the reality is, don't do that. Sit back and go, ooh, I get to figure this out. And in this process of figuring it out, I'm going to learn something new. All right. So get up, go get a glass of water, relax, chillax, come back to it with an open mind and start figuring out where the issue is and start attacking it a little bit at a time to figure out where the issue is. Why do I say that? Because I've done it a million times.
Yeah, that's exactly how I learned by my mistakes.
Yep. I told you I'm the queen of mistakes. So I'm telling you, I've done it all wrong before I do it right. And it's all good. You're going to figure it out if you'll just stay calm and not get too frustrated. And then you've always got support behind you, so that if you get to the point where it's just not making sense, you submit it to support and let them help you. But always look at it as a way to learn how these things work, because it is sometimes a little freaky in the background, a little complicated, and it takes a minute to understand exactly what's happening. So take that minute and understand. You're going to get stronger in building your sales funnels. And I can promise you, after making like $3,000 per funnel, there's money in it if you learn it. Okay. All right, let's go to share. And I'm going to go over here to all of my stuff. And I'm going to click save to make sure that we've got everything saved. Yay me. Fabulous. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to my dashboard. And I'll go to my builders and Pixel Perfect Builder. And I'm going to go to my site list. And I've done a save. So I know I've saved everything I've done so far. And there's my trusty little Tripwire Funnel Bootcamp training website. That's fabulous. So I'm going to go ahead and publish. So I'm going to click the publish button and okay. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. And now you can see that it's turned blue. That means it's a clickable link. So I'm going to go ahead and click and go to the live version. And then I'm going to go ahead and copy it. And I'm going to share it to you guys so that you guys can actually go and check it out too if you want to. So there's the link. And let's see if I can meet here. Dun, 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 dun. All right, I think we got it. So let me go back and let's go ahead and test out this bad boy. And when I test, I do like a ton of testing, right? I test multiple times. In fact, I was looking at my list the other day. I had like, I don't know, 10, 15, 5-cent charges on my PayPal account again, where I tested another funnel. So that's just a thing I do. So I'm going to go ahead and go to one of my emails, one of my test emails that I use. So I'm going to go to emails and let's see, I think it's maybe join us at Everest. I've got several tests. Let me check that one. There we go. I've got a test 1, 2, 3 email address right there. So we'll use those right there. So let me go back to my live site and I'll go to Shelly and then test1 at joinus@everest.com. And I'm going to click get your free stuff today. So we should now go to the email confirmation page, which we did. So far, so good. I get 1 gold star sticker. And I'm going to check my email. And I'm going to actually go ahead and refresh and see if I get that email. And it may take a minute because it, again, has to kind of queue up. And while I'm doing this, you guys are welcome to check it out and test it as well, if you would like to.
So if we buy your blank pages, you'll refund our nickels?
Yeah, if you really want your nickel refunded, I absolutely will, yes. I had to get on the right email. I was actually in the wrong email address. All right, I think this one is actually this right here. It's sent a minute ago. So I'm going to click on that one. And now when I click this, it should take me to the Tripwire offer. That's the page that I should end up on. So let me go ahead and click to confirm. And there we go, Tripwire offer page. That's fabulous. So you can see everything is set up and it shows up as 5 cents. And I want you to notice that I've got the checkout button right here, but there is not a no thank you button. There's only the option to buy it. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this out to buy it. So I'm going to say test1 at joinus@everest.com and Shelly and a secret. Perfect. So now I'm going to go ahead and buy it for a whole nickel. I'm going to click checkout. And you guys have seen this already where we go to the payment processor and it goes through PayPal and it says, oh my gosh, you have to pay for this. Let's log in and get it paid for. So I'm going to spend a whole nickel and go through that process, which I luckily have a nickel in that account. So that's fabulous. Actually, I have probably a couple nickels. And so there we go. I've paid it. And now I can click return to merchant. And when I do that, it should take me now to the core offer page. So let's go ahead and click that and see what happens. There's the core offer page. Yay me. So now if you take a look at it, I set it up so that it has the checkout button and it should have the no thank you button as well. It started to show, but it's not showing. So there may be something else that I have to configure. So let me go into the editor and I'm going to go to that core offer page right here. And I'm going to right click and go to configure. And let me make sure that, let's see, there it is right there. That's a tricky one. And that is enable downsell button. You have to click on that, check mark it, and then click confirm. And that will allow the no thank you button to show. So I'm going to click save and then save again. And then all I'm going to do is go to my my live site and actually just refresh the page. Let me find it here. Here we go. So there's that live page. I'm just going to refresh it. And that's the way the no thank you appears. So here I can choose to go ahead and check out this product and purchase it, or I can just click no thanks. Either way I go, I'm going to actually go to the thank you page, which is also the member access page. So I'm going to go ahead and purchase it because I feel like spending another nickel. So I'm going to go ahead and click checkout. And it takes me through the process again. And I just pay. And then I click return to merchant. And this should take me to that thank you page. So let's click it and check it out. There's my thank you page. And now what should happen is I should be able to get into the lead magnet area. I should be able to get into the Tripwire offer area. And I should be able to get into the core offer area. All three of them because I confirmed my email and I bought both of these products. So let's take a look at what happens. So everybody cross their fingers So we're going to go to lead magnet. And I got to that page. So that's fabulous. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to go to Tripwire. So I'm going to go to that page. And I got into that. That's fabulous. And now I'm going to go to the core offer. And I got into that. So that's fabulous. So what does that mean? That means that, yay, it looks like everything's working on purchasing. But I'm going to look at your eyeballs. Is that enough testing? Does that prove that it all works? You guys are looking at me like, shoot, I don't know, Shelly.
I think that it works, Shelly.
Does it prove it?
Yes.
No,
Shelly.
No, I have to go back.
Your emails.
You haven't tried to log in anywhere and make sure that it delivered your product or your area.
Yeah, I just did. That's actually what I did. Those 3 buttons that I clicked on the thank you page, those took me into my membership areas.
Oh, sorry. I was saying goodbye to Brad. I guess I should have paid attention. Sorry.
That's okay.
Shelly.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Roberto, I'll let you go. And then I think Dominic, and then I think Gabriel. Yeah. So
Thank you. Yes, we should take the no option to see if the person is going to be able to access the one that it was supposed not to access.
That's it. That's what I want to test. Dominic, what do you say?
I was just going to tell you that I went through your funnel and it's taken me to a front end area. It hasn't taken me to the website. You mind if I share that?
Yeah, go ahead. So that means that email, it's the second time it's been added in. So did you maybe do it once and then do it again?
Possible.
Yep, that's why.
I think I lost the page and then clicked on it again. Okay, so
Yep,
this is if
why.
you hit it twice?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
That's exactly what that means. There is a way to fix that. And you have to go into the subscriber list settings and go to the advanced settings. And there's a place where you can add the URL of the page that you want them to go to if it's a repeat email. So you can add a page in there that says, hello, you're already subscribed. And so if they're already subscribed, they go to that page instead of that butt ugly page right there.
Okay.
Right? But yes, that is a thing that you can fix. But you have to do it in the subscription list settings. Okay. And then Gabriel.
Yeah. Is that secured? What if the person that purchased the product is going to share that link to somebody else? Is that can only one person, technically the person that purchased the product, get into the members area, etc.? You get my point?
With their email and password. If they give away their email and password, they can get in. And I'm going to show you how to set it up so they can come back and get in with their email and password.
Because after you purchased, you went straight to that members area, right? And you got the 3 buttons. You didn't log in again, correct?
Right. What happened, Gabriel, is when they went through the checkout process, they registered. And when they registered, that logged them in automatically to the account. So technically, they're officially logged in. They haven't logged out. They have to actively log out or clear their cookies.
Yeah, so can you possibly show us also log out and then log back in to get back into that?
That'll be one of the last things I show you how to do. Okay. Absolutely. So you can show your people how to log in and get their product later on, rather than only getting it at the time that it's
due. Exactly. Because if they just, I went there, but I only looked at one, I got to go check the other 2.
Exactly.
Their browser, how do they get back?
That's exactly right. So we're gonna actually cover that. That's actually really, really simple.
Thank you. Also check your emails as well.
Yes. So what we'll end up doing is when we test these funnels, it's actually not good enough ever. Let me warn you ahead of time, ever, to just run through one test like we just did. And it's like, wow, everything worked. That's fantastic, because we didn't test it to see if we got an access denied, did we? Right? So let's go ahead and go through the test again. And this is why I'm telling you that I have like 10 different 5-cent charges on my PayPal, because I never do one test. I always do multiple tests. And I tell people all the time, I have a lot of people that send me their funnels and they'll want me to test their funnels. and it's obvious they didn't test them, right? Because I'll do a single test to test something and it fails miserably. And I will tell them, you need to test your funnels. Don't make me test your funnels. I'll test your funnels for you for something specific, but you have to have gone through those tests yourself and make sure they work. That's part of building a funnel. Is the fun of it is building, and sometimes it's a pain in the booty to figure out all the different ways you need to test it to make sure it works, but that's part of building that funnel. So always test it, test the access denied stuff, test the access approved stuff, test the login buttons. Everything you do on a website, never leave a single thing untested. If you put a button there, test it. If you put a link there, test it. All of that stuff needs to be followed up on. And you need to actually be doing blueprints and drawings so you can keep track of all that too, because these get out of hand sometimes how big they get. And you want to make sure that you're going systematically through your website to be able to test everything before you officially release it. Because I promise you, there's nothing worse than sending someone through the funnel and they get stopped in the funnel and can't do anything else because a single link doesn't work. You ruined your whole funnel. And you might have sold $1 million worth. You never know. So test, retest, and test again. Did somebody
when you say you're testing 10 times, are you going through the purchasing process through the PayPal? Do you have 10 PayPal accounts? How do you test it 10 times, or is it the same PayPal?
It's the same 2 PayPal accounts.
So it's okay because you're buying the product 10 times over, but
yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure PayPal is like, I don't know what she's selling for 5 cents, but she's selling a lot of them.
You're not using 10 different email addresses, do you, to test?
No, there's actually a trick to that. You can use a Gmail email, and in your Gmail email, like I have cardinaldiva@gmail.com, and I can do Cardinal Diva +123, Cardinal Diva +456, Cardinal Diva +897, whatever I want to do, and it counts it as a different email, but Gmail doesn't. So you'll get all of those emails at your Gmail account, and you can confirm them and all that good stuff. So that's kind of a trick to not have to create so many test emails. Okay.
Okay.
Shelly, just to let you guys know, so I've gone through this once with a client. And so while I was doing the whole testing thing, I just did it with Stripe, and then you can set it up as a test Stripe credit card. I just put in the information on the chat box. So instead of going through PayPal, I know that after like 10 testings of PayPal, it's kind of redundant having to get out. So you can do Stripe, and it will save you like a good half an hour.
Can you check that, Alejandro? Because I think you might have sent it specifically to a person, and I don't see it to all the panelists. And I know that they'll really appreciate that because that is very valuable.
So that's the one that I was using, and this is the link that you guys can use. All the information is in there. And the only way that I found this out is because I was with the Builderall team for like a good 2 hours, and then they let me know, like, yeah, no, we use this all the time. I'm like, okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's perfectly okay to use. The expiration date is it 2/22, I think? And then the CSV or CVS number, whatever it is 424, I think. But all it is it's a Visa 4242, 4242, 4242, 4242. And then I think the expiration date is 2/22, and the CSV is 424. And that will get you being able to do a test purchase through Stripe so that you don't have to go through that 5-cent purchase all the time. And Stripe is different. The minimum purchase price for Stripe is, I think, 50 cents. You have to have a 50-cent purchase to be able to go through a Stripe purchase. PayPal is only 5 cents, and I'm okay with spending 5 cents. I mean, I don't even spend $1 every time I test everything, so I'm good to go. $1 for testing is pretty good. But most of what I do is actually on PayPal, although I do have some stuff on Stripe. But you can definitely use that Stripe number to make it a little bit easier when you're going through testing. So also remember, minimum purchase for PayPal is 5 cents. Minimum purchase for Stripe is 50 cents. So if you do want to go through an actual purchase through Stripe or PayPal, you have to use those minimums. Okay. So let's go through one more test, and I want to test it and see if we get an access denied. because I want you guys to see what that looks like too. So I'm going to go ahead and click share and share again. And we'll go back through here and go to the live site again. And it's going to actually have me logged in again. So I'm going to go ahead and just put in a name. Shelly. No, I'm just going to go to that Tripwire offer page. So we'll go to the Tripwire offer page. We'll make it simple. No, that's not it. Let me try this again. There we go. We'll start here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and, well, I can't do this. I have to go all the way through from the very beginning because I have to go ahead and set it up with a different password. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll go to the live and we'll do Shelly and we'll go test 2 at Join Us at Everest. Fabulous. And we'll click Get Your Free Stuff Today. And there's my email confirmation page. So I'm going to check my email. So I'll go to the test 2 account. And we'll wait for that. Congratulations, you have to confirm email to come in. There we go. So subscribe confirmation. Now I should actually be able to click here and go to the Tripwire offer page. And magically I did. So yay me. So now I'm going to go ahead and go to checkout and go ahead and check out for a whole nickel. And I'll pay that now. And then return to merchant, I'm going to end up going to the core offer. So there we go. And remember, I added that no thanks button. So I'm just going to go ahead and click no thanks, and I should end up on the thank you page. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. And now the way it should work is I should be able to get into the lead magnet. I should be able to get into the Tripwire offer, but I should get an access denied if I'm in the core offer. So let's check it out. Go to lead magnet. And there I am. So yay, gold star sticker for me. Tripwire. And there I am. So gold star sticker for me. And now core offer. And I got in. So there's something wrong. And it might be that I'm actually still technically logged in as the other person. So I'm going to show you how to create a login, log out button. So when you're testing this stuff, you can log out before you do another test and make sure that you're starting with a really clean test. So I'm going to go ahead and go in here to my, to edit my website. And there we go. And let me go ahead and close this one. So to do that, all I need to do is go into my unprotected area. And let's say that you're going to send them either, and you can send them an email with the login, or sorry, the access page, the member access page, or you can just put a login button right here in the header, and it will just always be there on every page that they access that's in the unprotected area. So all I need to do is go to the plus sign, and I'm going to go to buttons. And right here, we've got a category called login button. I'm going to go ahead and click that. And I've got a couple options right here. I can do a login/register. I can do just a login button or just a register button. I'm just going to do a login button, just plain old login button. And I'm going to put it right here. And it gives me that message that says, hey, you're changing everything in this layout. And I'm going to click OK. I got it. And now I've got a login button. Now I can right click this and change the theme, change the appearance. I can change the text on it. I can do whatever I want. But what this allows them to do is come back to this page or any other page in this layout. What I would do is send them an email as part of the email list that says, here's the link to access your product, and then send them to that thank you page and member access page, right? That's where I'd want to send them. But you can still make it available on every page because not everybody's going to have a login, right? So then what I want to do is set up this login so that when they log in, they go to a very specific page. So I'm going to right click it and I'm going to go to action after login. And when I click that, where do I want them to go after they log in? And if I do that, I want them to go to that thank you page, because that's where they access everything, is from that thank you page. So I'll click that and then click OK. And now I'm going to click save and save again. And now I can actually log out of the website and retest everything. So I'm going to go ahead and close down all of these windows that are open, except for my email. And we'll close down this one and this one. And oops, that's a different one. And now I'm going to go back and I'm actually going to open this bad boy up again. And I'm going to make sure I'm logged out before I do another test. Okay. So I'm going to open it up. And it's going to load this page, and it takes a second for this to show up. And I want you to notice that it says log out. So when I went to do that test before, I was actually purchasing and doing all of that under that other login because I hadn't officially logged out. And the only way to log out when you log into a website is to either actively click the log out or clear your cookies. That's the only way. So the person will stay logged in until they actively log out or clear out their cookies. It's kind of the same thing with Builderall. You guys notice that when you go to the Builderall site, if you have the direct link to the dashboard, it will take you straight into the dashboard. You don't have to log in. Mm-hmm. And to stop it from doing that, you just click log out, and then you have to log in every time. Right. It's the same idea. Okay. So let's go through this again one more time, but we're going to log out and do it brand spanking new. Okay. So we're brand spanking new. I have logged out. So now I'm showing login. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and go all the way through this process and test it again with a brand spanking new information. So let's go, Shelly, and test 3 at joinusateverest.com, and then get your free stuff. There's the email confirmation page. So I'm going to go into my email, and I'm going to go to test 3. And there it is right there, the subscribe confirm. And I'll click here to go to the Tripwire offer. Fabulous. So now I'm going to go through the Tripwire offer and purchase that. And I have to fill out this information. So I'm going to put test 3 at joinusateverest.com, and Shelly, and a secret, and a secret. Fabulous. Now I'm going to go to checkout. Oops, password wrong. A secret and a secret. There we go. And we should be sent to payments. There we go. I'll put my password in there and log in. Yay. And then pay now. And then return to merchant should take us to the core offer. And now we'll let this page load. And it takes a second for that checkout to adjust. And now I'm going to say no thanks. And now we're on the thank you page, and we're actually logged in. Notice right here, we're logged in as that new person that we registered. So let's check everything. I'm going to go to lead magnet. And we got in. Yay, us. And now I'm going to go to Tripwire. And we got in. Yay, us. And now I'm going to go to the core offer and access denied. So you see there's a lot of testing you have to do to make sure that you're doing it correctly and that everything is working correctly. It could have very easily put you in kind of a tailspin if you thought that it wasn't working correctly and you were looking at everything, and it was actually because you were still logged in as the original person. So that log in, log out button is tremendously valuable because you give them the ability to log in, log out, and you'll need to use that for testing purposes as well. There's also, if you use the other button, let me go to the other one so you can just see it. I go to buttons and login button. This one right here. It's the same exact thing. It just has one more layer to it, and that is register. So you could ask them to register before they get started. And actually, right here, you could actually have them, instead of doing an opt-in form, you could have them go to register. And that would be the first step in the setting up the purchase anyway. So instead of having this right here, you could do a register button and have them just register, and they'd be registering on the website. And then as they go through the process, they could, you'd have to set up the email a little bit differently and accessing the product a little bit differently, but it could absolutely be done. And it's just kind of a different way to do it. You know, with Builderall, I love cats, so don't take this personally. Nobody get offended, please. But there's more than one way to skin a cat with Builderall. So this is a way that I showed you today, which is setting up the opt-in form and then going through the checkouts and then accessing through a thank you page that's also a member access page. And each of those buttons take you to a member area. The user is able to log in and out to be able to access their information. You send them an email that says, click this link and log in. And then you actually have them log in to be able to access their products on the thank you page. So that's one way to do it out of the many, many ways that you can do it.
So in order for them to register, would you put the registration page or prompt them to register after the email confirmation? They confirm the email, and now the next page they arrive on is the registration page. Hey, register.
It's tricky because you have to think about it. You have to think about it kind of deeply, because when you put the register button on there, the register button registers them for the website, and it's not connected to Mailing Boss.
Mm-hmm.
So you're registering them, but they'll get access to their member area to get their product, right? So that's good, but it's not going into Mailing Boss.
But that's right, because you're putting that after the email confirmation, because they already are in the emailing box now. And now
right. I want them on an email list, right? So if they go out of the funnel, at least I've got their email in an email list. I don't want to lose that information, because that's actually sometimes more valuable than getting them to go through and buy, right? You got a customer for a long time. So I want the opt-in form is more valuable to me, because I want to send them, it causes them double duty. But in the long and short of things, I don't think it is anybody, well, some people might, but I don't think very many people are going to say, man, I just entered my name and email here. This is ridiculous that I got to do this again, because they're going through the process of buying. So they know they're going to have to do that anyway. So get them to opt in first, in my mind, and get them on a list, and then send them through the checkout and let them register.
Right. One more question on when clients purchase, do they have to have a PayPal account set up in order to purchase the product, or they can purchase with a credit card?
They can do it with a credit card. PayPal allows you to either choose to pay through PayPal in your account, or you can actually just pay with a credit card and never register a PayPal account at all. You can bypass the account part and just use your credit card, and PayPal processes that payment.
Because that interface, and I understand, I mean, I don't, but I didn't see that, even though you were doing it automatically.
Yeah, I'm sorry, account. I probably should have slowed down that a little bit.
when you're a regular prospect, regular client, you're not gonna be connected there. They just have to get to enter your credit card number and stuff, correct?
Yeah. No, you have the ability to choose if you want to sign into your PayPal account and pay, or do you want to do it anonymously and use a credit card?
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Yes.
Can when they go to register, can it auto-populate their name and their email address?
Can it?
Yeah.
I don't think so, because I don't know if we have that capability.
I mean, yet. Knowing them, it will be coming, but yeah.
I don't think we have that capability yet. And I do remember, Buzz, that we were working on that. But I think the buzz right now is more on changing those checkouts to allow affiliate for you to be able to affiliatize your products. So I don't even know if that's a word, but so when you're selling these products, you can actually have affiliate links in there so people can go through the checkout process and they get credit for selling that product for you. So all of that's coming attached to checkouts. But as far as pre-filling them out, I'm not sure of. Now I have a program that's actually pretty cool that can kind of do that kind of stuff, but I haven't tested it with this checkout to see if it does it with this checkout.
Okay.
So there are programs that can do it.
Okay. Thank you. Part two, and somebody else has a question in the question area, but part two is I offer merchant services to people. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to have a merchant service account on attached to mine because I don't want to pay PayPal fees, quite frankly, right. and Stripe right. and all that. So authorized.net is the only portal that they're allowing right now. So when I set people up, if they're using Builderall, I should make sure that the bank I put them with has authorized.net as one of the APIs.
Yeah, and authorized.net is one of the choices that you can choose.
Right, that's why I'm saying. So it would have to be that. It couldn't be like NMI or one of the ones that's right. more user-friendly than authorized.net.
Yeah, let's take a look. We've got quite a few options, actually. So if I go into the shopping bag and go to Payment Manager, these are our major options, which is PayPal, Stripe, Braintree, and authorized.net. The only one I've not used is Braintree. And then we've got some external platforms as well, JVZoo and ClickBank. I've not used those for like general purchasing, so I'm not sure how you would use that through checkout. But for website sales, I've used PayPal, Stripe, and authorized.net, and they all work beautifully. Stripe is one of the few, though, that has a few extra little features, including that pay now, but we won't charge you until 10 days later. And then if you don't like it, cancel it and you won't be charged at all. So Stripe is the only one that has that capability. Okay. Good questions.
Okay, thank you.
So are you saying that there is a fee? I know there is fees on everybody's charging fees when you're using credit cards, right? Merchants. But yeah. Authorized.net, you're saying that they don't charge you? There's no fee?
What I'm saying is it's whatever you set up in that merchant account. So like, for example, most of what I offer is between 1 and no more than 2% usually. And they're at 3 to 3.5%. So I'm just saving money.
3% plus, because it's like 3% plus 30 cents per charge if it's this much. And it can be quite a lot. Yeah.
So it's a bigger, I see, it's a bigger fee instead of. Right.
It's a much larger fee on everything. Authorized.net, like I said, it doesn't matter what bank is behind it. As long as their API can be authorized.net, you can still use it through Builderall. And my people that are doing $1 million a year, for example, that adds up really, really quickly. And they don't give them a break. It doesn't matter that they're doing those high volumes with these other companies.
Actually, with PayPal, it's a little scarier to do high volume because you might be shut down.
No, and then they hold your money for 6 months to a year. Yeah, been there, done that.
I had mine held for 180 days, and I was about ready to spaz. I had thousands of dollars in there.
6 months. Yep, that's their. And they're allowed to do it.
Well, why do we use them so?
Because they're easy and fast.
PayPal is easy. Yeah, PayPal is super simple.
Stripe would be as easy.
Stripe is easy.
That's owned by two Irish lads, you know?
It's a little bit trickier than PayPal, but to me, it's still easy. But PayPal is internationally known, even though in some places it's not allowed. And when you say PayPal, people have heard of PayPal, and that's thanks to eBay for sure. So we know what PayPal is, and we can process that. But if authorized.net pops up, that might not be as well known as PayPal. So they might be.
Authorized.net would just show Visa, MasterCard, Discover, and American Express. So people trust it. They don't know it's going through authorized.net.
Yeah, that's true. But I've seen it many times, Karen, where it shows up with just that credit card thing, and they're just leery. But for some reason, if they see that PayPal thing, there's so many that have bought through PayPal for something else that it's just like automatically trusted, even though all of us in here have probably had a bad experience with PayPal and don't really trust them very much because they're going to keep our money. But the end user, the consumer, usually doesn't know that. And PayPal is like easy to use, trustworthy, and they know that it's going to process. And I've had people tell me, if I can't pay through PayPal, I'm not going to pay.
And I don't discourage people from keeping it on there, but I also have the other, I've had the experience of, if you only offer PayPal, I'm not doing it because I don't trust PayPal, or I don't like PayPal, or blah, blah, blah. And so they won't do it if they have to set up that account.
Yeah.
So, you know, I usually just put both on there. Let them do whatever they want, but at least most of the time you're paying less money. And if you have a low ticket item, it's expensive for that 30 cents each.
It is. It really is. You're right about that.
I mean, like your spinner, holy cow.
Yep. And those are fees that you have to add in there to calculate your ROI, because you don't want to lose money because of PayPal fees.
But would you take your money out on a weekly basis out of PayPal, or can you do that?
I always do now. I had tens of thousands sitting in PayPal that had to sit for 180 days.
Wow, that's wrong. That is just absolutely.
Shelley, can you explain why did they keep your money in PayPal, please?
I went from making a modicum amount of money to a very large amount of money. And some of it was listed when you go in and list it, it was like for consulting fee, for commissions. So I'm sure that those words as to why that I got that money triggered them to say she's in a multi-level marketing company, or she's in some type of something that isn't on the up and up. So they have the right to take a look at that account for 180 days to figure out if you're doing anything illegal, immoral, against their terms, whatever. And they did. They froze me for 180 days, but they ended up unfreezing it, and I was like super, super glad. But during that time, it was I had nothing, no answer from them. No, when I would message them, I would get absolutely nothing back. I did do and they answered back and said they have to take their time and review the account. And that's really the only response that I got. So for 180 days, I waited to get that money. It ended up fine. I was probably luckier than most because I was able to get my money. There are some people that they come back and say, nope, it's dishonest money. You can't have it.
So what do you recommend? Because my business, what I'm doing is building funnels for clients. So if my fees are going to say consulting or marketing funnels, then I'll be likely to go through the same.
My suggestion is figure out how much money you absolutely have to have in your account to function, and just that minimum amount in there, and then every single week pull out down to that amount.
Gotcha.
And that's the amount that you're willing to lose.
Gotcha. Thank you.
And that's how I do it.
Wow.
Learn from the masters.
I'm not sure I'm a master.
Well,
that's just how I do it. Having been through it, yeah, it was very scary because, like I said, I had tens of thousands in there, and your business runs whether PayPal freezes your money or not. So we had to juggle money around a little bit to deal with that issue. We were able to. We were fine. Nothing bad happened. We were absolutely fine. I think the only thing that I suffered was the stress of having that much money and not being able to get to it. But it didn't hurt the business at all, which is good. But I've gotten smarter with PayPal for sure. And now I have the minimum that I keep, and I have several PayPal accounts because I have several businesses. So each account has a very specific amount that they leave in there that has to be left in there for things that are coming out of PayPal automatically. And then from there, I withdraw every single week and just keep that schedule going every week.
Is Builderall coming out with their own Visa or something like that? I heard.
They are. I'm super excited about that because that's going to make that PayPal worry go away. Because when you're pulling out, like, oh gosh, just the other day I did like a $4,000 PayPal transaction, and when you do a $4,000 transaction, that worry is this going to trigger a PayPal this time to take a look at what's going on? It is scary. So when I think about that debit card and being able to move money in and move money out without the worry of, oh my gosh, it's a $4,000 transaction, I'm going to get dinged by PayPal. that just taking away that stress is huge. So PayPal's fees are high for sure. It's a cost of doing business. That's the way I look at it. Just like Stripe has a cost, just like Authorize.net has a cost. Those are all costs of doing business. You can actually juggle between them and minimize those costs. The debit card will have a cost of doing business. And there'll be a cost to get the card. There'll be a cost to put money on it, to take money off of it. But you have to compare it to what's happening with PayPal. And my bet is that the cost is going to be probably similar to PayPal. So it's probably going to be on the high end. But if you don't have that fear of your money being frozen, to me, that's way worth it. Even if it was a little bit higher than PayPal, it would be way worth it.
Did they ever think of using the Revolut card?
I don't know. I know that this one that they're using, I believe, is under ProPay. And they've done all the paperwork already as far as the financial situation and doing all that part of it. So and they've designed the card actually. So we know what the card's going to look like. But the next step is to get all that approved by the company and get the go ahead for the setup. And you can imagine Builderall is an international company and they're sending money across lots and lots of international lines. So all of that has to be on the up and up, or they'll get in trouble. Builderall will get in trouble. We'll get in trouble. Everybody will get in trouble. So I don't think it's going to be a fast process. And then even if they said today, if the ProPay bank said, all set up, we're ready to go. Then you got the process of setting up the Builderall side of getting the cards to the people, making sure they're registered to each person so that when I earn money, that money goes to my debit card and not to Karen's, because I love Karen, but I don't want her to have my money. So all of that is a very involved process, and it doesn't happen overnight. So it's a completely, step by step. And as much as I would love to say, hey guys, the debit card's here, it's not here yet. And I cannot wait till we get that word, because to me, that'll lift a ton off of me as far as PayPal. Because just like I'm ready to ditch Shopify with this new e-commerce that we're doing, I'm ready to ditch PayPal for the new debit card we're doing, for sure. Ready.
Gosh, I must look into it. You see, the Revolut card isn't in the US yet. I can't understand why. They must have very, very strict policies over there.
We do have, we're pretty strict with money policies.
The Revolut card is actually international. It's a bona fide bank all over the world except for USA.
Wow. Well, we USA people, we're funny about money.
And bankers in London are the ones behind it. Really, that's what I found. How I found it, and it's so cool because it has all these different wallets within the card that I could get Bitcoin. I could get all my different.
And that may be why it's not in the U.S. though, David, because Bitcoin here has not been in the U.S. While Bitcoin is. People are still working and running Bitcoin stuff. The general acceptance of Bitcoin in the financial institutions is not there yet. And in fact, we just like a year ago, we had a huge explosion of a Bitcoin operation in Texas and they shut it down. I think they're limping along now and back up and running, but not what they were before. And it's if the Bitcoin aspect of it is there, then it's probably not going to get into the US.
It's a wallet now. The card is a prepaid Visa.
I don't think they'll do wallets here. If it's anything associated with the blockchain Bitcoin type technology, I don't think the U.S. is ready to embrace that yet. Wow. And I think it's because in the U.S. we have lots of protections if you lose money. We've got the FDIC, which means if you have money inside of a bank and you lose your money, you're entitled to some of that back through these FDI insured banks.
But
how do you do that with Bitcoin? And so this is a real issue that the U.S. is actually dealing with. And I don't understand all the ins and outs of it, but I know that the U.S. is really slow on the uptake for the Bitcoin technology.
Wow, I'm surprised.
Yep.
Oh, quick question while I think about it. Going back to the email, right? On this on the Tripwire, right? Every email that goes out, you get obviously, right? Now, at any stage, does it send you an email with your password, etc., on it?
When you actually do the register/login button and you click that, there's a pop-up box that appears and you can put in your information. And there's I think it's a little thing on the side that says remember or remind me.
Right, yeah,
like yeah. And you can click that and actually get
Is there a way then of, say you forget it, you know, forgot email or forgot password, is there like normal places?
I don't think it'll remember your email, but it will remember your password. So right, you put your email in and it will send you what your password was.
But say that people don't click that.
They'll have to re-register.
They don't click that and then they pardon?
They'll either re-register or, like the good website builder that you are, you're going to have a support area somewhere and they're going to be able to contact you via some type of support and get that information. And then you can actually go in and manage the users.
But there's no forgot email on the bottom. Oh God, like you say you go into Google and you forgot your email and you click forget email and you have to go through the rigmarole. So you have to set that up yourself, do you, through support?
Yeah. I will show you one more thing on how to provide that support. And that is if I go to share and then I go into the website to edit, so I'm editing right here. When they register through a checkout, remember that this opt-in form here is going to Mailing Boss. This one, when they register, is going to the website. It's actually registering them on the website. That's the big difference between the two. So when they register here during their checkout, that's usually where they register, they will be recorded on the website. So I can actually go into these double gears right here, and I can go into user management. And if I click there, here's our users. Oh, there's Willie right there. Willie registered. How cool is that? And so right here, I can see who's registered. And if I go over here to this area and click the little square with the pencil in it, if I click that, it tells me I've got 3 areas and they have no access to the lead magnet, which they do because they've confirmed their email address, but through like payment or something, they don't. Tripwire, they get access to, and Core Offer, they get access to. Let's say they tick me off because they said something about my mama. I can actually go in and I can click this green button. And when I click it, it turns it red and they no longer have access. And then if they say, I'm really sorry, I didn't mean to talk about your mama, I can click it again and give them access again. I can also go in there and restrict how long they have access. So right here, I can actually click this button and I can say, well, she did talk about my mama, so I'll give her access until here. April the 5th, she's done though. I'm not giving her any more access after that. And then it'll show right there how far she gets access to.
So you could do a yearly thing, yearly payment, pay for the year, and then give them access for the year.
Yep. So Willie right here, I could go into Willie and I can click right here and he's got lead magnet permission. He's got Tripwire permission. He's got Core Offer permission. He's got access to everything. And I can actually change it to unlimited access. So nah. And then right here, I just change it to empty and save and then approve. And now he's going to be forever accessing that as long as he wants to. And then all I have to do is click save and confirm. And then Willie actually has access forever as well. So that's how you check your users to be able to grant them access. Now, remember when we set this up, the idea behind the 2 paid access was you could get access manually or by payment. So Willie went through and got access by payment, right? If he didn't go through by payment, but I said, Willie, you're such a great guy, I'm going to give you access manually. So that's how I do it. I'd click right there and I'd give him access manually. So that's the way we set up our restricted area, is either manually or by payment. Okay.
So Shelly, if you do a monthly or a yearly membership, and then since you put a timer on there, is there a reminder to remind me and remind the person that, hey, go renew your membership or something?
No, this is actually all automated. And what PayPal or what the payment processors do is send a thing back that says that they've paid. If you don't pay, it'll kick them out.
Right, but let's say he paid for a year, and in a year from now, I want him to go back and, hey, do you want to renew your subscription? Or You know what I mean?
Yeah, the way it's set up is you would set that up as a recurring payment
On PayPal.
right?
Oh,
and
okay.
it would do automatically. It would actually, PayPal would have that registered as a recurring.
Mm-hmm.
So when the time came up for that to be paid, it would automatically be paid unless he canceled it. And once it's automatically paid, it goes back to the membership area and says renewed for another year. It actually automatically does that, which is really cool, right? If he doesn't pay, if for some reason he cancels and it never goes through that payment process to get that recurring payment, it triggers on the website and says, hey, I'm supposed to have this paid, no payment. So it'll stop access for him.
Or what about if his credit card declines, or
either way, if he doesn't go through the payment process, it never registers a payment, then it stops automatically for him. So that's absolutely fabulous.
That's like us on the monthly with Builderall. You know, that's the thing I'm always worried about.
That's right.
You know, how long do they give? God forbid, no. Say we had a bad month this month, right? And I wasn't able to pay it, or somebody else wasn't able to pay it. How long do they give? Do they give you a month and then you?
I'm not sure how often PayPal, like PayPal or Stripe or Authorize.net, I'm not sure how long they'll continue to try to do the payment for you. I do know that they will retry, but I'm not sure if it's like one retry, two retries. I don't know. But after a while, if the retry doesn't work, then it's just going to be not paid. And unfortunately, with Builderall, a lot of times they'll just have to cancel the payment and then go in and redo the payment processor altogether because you have to set up the recurring again. So it's you don't ever want to try to miss any payments like that because it can be quite tricky. The other thing I wanted to show you is also in the sales, the little shopping bag area. So this is all the checkout information. You can actually go to Sales Manager, and when you click in there, it just kept track of all of our sales. So Willie just paid me 10 cents. Thank you, Willie. And this person right here, test one is showing as waiting, and then down here it shows as complete. So it keeps track of everything I've done and the money that I've made off of the website. And I can then export that information if I want to. And of course, you always have that power of the web hooks that we talked about in the offer manager, where you can pull all this information actually out of the offer manager. And when they go through the payment process, send it to a Google spreadsheet. And then if you've got like a tax or accounting software or something like that, you can actually, with the API, send it straight into the accounting software too. So it's fabulous what you can do, but that's quite advanced. And then on each one of these items, you can just click show details and it breaks it out a little bit more for you so you can see exactly what's going on. And then it even allows you to do a printer version so you can print it out if you want to. So lots of great information on your users to be able to manage their access, and then the sales manager to be able to manage the sales that you've done for each of your items as well. So fabulous information. And that actually covers the entire Tripwire funnel.
Shelley, you deserve a break. You're going 3 hours now.
I know. A Tripwire is so long, but it's so fun. I love the Tripwire funnel. It's my favorite.
Very good, though.
I'll probably talk to you guys like 3 more hours about Tripwire. It's so fun.
Fair play to you. Yeah,
I do have a question, Shelley, on when they make the purchase. Say, for instance, that can we give them access for 2 years when they make the initial purchase, if we wanted to?
Let me think about it a minute. So when we're giving them access, I gave them unlimited access. Yes, I believe 2 years is actually an option on there.
When they make the purchase. Mm-hmm. See, I'm asking because a lot of this, when going through this Tripwire funnel, mm-hmm. I'm seeing a lot of things that we can do that those things are the things that I experienced during my purchasing. And then during the time when I bought some products, if you buy it now, you get a free year, or if you buy it now, you get a discount for such time. Mm-hmm. So after 2 years, we forget. I forgot 2 years ago I did this because I'm so wrapped up in using the product. And then during the month of February, my 2 years were up. Mm-hmm. But there was no email. I didn't receive an email to tell me what's up. But what I'm saying is, going through different funnels that when I purchase things, I've liked those features, and I was trying to manually create those features in the funnel I was using. But I'm realizing Builderall, all I have to do is know what I want to do and then go to Builderall and do it, because so far it has every feature that I've experienced doing my process in the funnels.
Yeah, and let's look at that, Tyree, because I want to show you where that's at to just solidify in your mind where that's at. So I would go into my checkout. So let's just find one of our checkout pages. And so we'll go to the Tripwire offer page. And in that Tripwire offer, I'm going to right click and go to change offer. And there's our basic information. So I'll go to next. And then there's the actual item. And so right here, I've given them access to the membership area, right? And I have an expiration date right here. So I can set it to expire in 2 years, and it will not charge them again because it expired. Or I could set it to recurrent. And in the recurrent right here is where I can set up how often it recurs. So I can go weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, or annually, right? So I can actually, I have a lot of power in setting up the recurring payments or just setting it to expire, whichever one I want. If I set up recurrent, that means it's going to charge them when at the end of that time period, right? Or I can set it to expire, which means it expires. And if they want access again, they're going to have to go through and pay for it again.
Oh man, this is sweet, because this is exactly what I experienced. And I was like, man, I knew that I wanted to add the feature to my phone. How could I use that? But Builderall now has just like taken it to another level. And for me, if my initials were RB and I had a sales funnel company, I'd be highly frustrated.
Yes, it's okay.
We got that Tyree moment again.
Go ahead, DeVito. What were you going to ask?
Yeah, I got a question. As a merchant on your website, how do you set up the client ID and stuff to accept payments?
All that's done through that checkout process. So when they go through the checkout, it's going to set up, if you're using PayPal or you're using Stripe or you're using authorized.net or Braintree, it's got all that stuff that it's doing in the background that you can't see. And it's connecting to the payment processor. And if they need an ID, then they get an ID. If they need a special key to be able to do this, then the system is going to handle that key. So all of that's done in the background. When you look at the results, which is that user management area and sales management area, you'll see that each one gets a different information on it. And that information is what you can use if you need to identify them. So like if I go to the shopping bag and I look at sales manager, so there's order numbers right here. So you may not be able to capture the exact, the ID of the person right here, but all of that's handled in the background through the payment process. And you don't need that ID because it's being handled in the background. Does that make sense?
What I'm talking about is when you set it all up to take the payment.
Oh, all that's done in the payment manager right here.
Yeah.
So if you're going to set up Stripe, then you're going to set up Stripe and you're going to set up a nickname, and then you're going to go through and do some settings to be able to do it. Each one's a little bit different, and we do have training. If you go to the Builderall USA YouTube channel and type in Builderall Stripe, you'll see how to set up Stripe. Type in Builderall Braintree, you'll see how to do that, and Builderall Authorized.net, and you'll see how to do that. And I think I did all those trainings. Okay.
Shirley, can you use another outside payment and integrate into Builderall? No.
You can, but it's not going to be able to integrate into the checkout to be able to release the payment or release the member area. The only ones that are connected to release the member areas are the ones that are listed in the checkout. So let's say you had a payment processor XYZ. Mm-hmm. You could set it up. You could absolutely set it up so you could accept payments through their HTML code. So all of that's very doable, but you would probably have to go in and once the payment was made, release that membership area manually.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So that's
is it possible in the future that Builderall is going to open that to other?
They've talked about it, but I haven't heard lately of anything they're going to add right now. They're redoing checkouts to be able to handle the affiliatizing. I don't even know if that's a word, but to be able to handle affiliatizing products.
Right.
So at this point, I think that's the main focus rather than adding more payment processors.
Okay, gotcha.
But remember to ask anybody that you're thinking of going through, as long as they can use authorized.net as their portal, you can still use them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, authorized.net is great.
Portal, basically, it's not a service as much as it's an API,
mm-hmm.
if that makes sense. So you can. That's what I'm excited about. It's already integrated. It's already ready to go, and you can use whoever you want. Real quick, Davida, I sent you a PM about your access to all the goodies when you bought your ticket for Everest.
Mm-hmm.
How did you? Can I ask real quick? How did you get that? Through an email? Were you able to just go log in? Because we still can't log in.
What I actually did was I found it in the message center from James.
Oh,
there was a message in there with and then it gave me the link to the membership site. And then you went in and registered, and then you logged in.
So where's the message center? Which message center?
That little squiggly thing.
Oh, Messenger.
Yeah.
He messengered
where they send you your messages for the tickets, and they let you know that your payment has been processed and all of that up on the right hand side.
I think, Kieran, the best way to go about it is find either James Neville Taylor or Michael Kalasparis, and just private message them on Facebook. Just do it through Messenger is fine. And just let them know that you need access to that membership area. You're not able to log in, and then they'll message you back and take care of you.
Okay, so that's what I was missing. So it's through Facebook. I'm waiting for emails and such.
They may not be. I don't know if they're sending out emails, and it's all of this is done through the affiliate marketplace. And that's one of the little glitches is that the payment goes through, and then you go through the marketplace and do your password and then click to access, but the password didn't register. So you're still not able to log in. So remember that area I just took you to where you just click and change it from red to green. That's all that James has to do. So all you have to do is let him know that you bought the tickets and get proof to him that you bought the tickets. And then all he has to do is go into that user management area and go boink. And now Kieran has access.
All right. So I will find their names in the big black hole of Facebook. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, I mean, I got in there and it was really interesting because some of the templates were really good. And they got a training that literally takes you from what Shelly's teaching us into the next level about how to actually put it into use.
That's good. Fabulous. Like I said, it's worth $97. Shelly, don't lie. All right, guys.
If you want to, I could probably show them what it is. If you want to.
No, I don't want to do that because I want it in a mystery. So they have to be enticed to buy that ticket for $97. And if you go to everestuk.com, everestuk.com, it lists all the bonuses there, so you can actually buy from there.
Well, you've sold me. I'm actually buying it for myself for my birthday, which is today. Thank you very much.
Yay! Happy birthday, Dominic!
I'm surprised they said they were shutting it off Saturday, so they didn't shut it off.
I don't know. Let me check. We'll take a look. Let's look together.
Happy birthday, Dominic.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Take a look.
It's also the World Wide Web birthday as well. So I'm in good company.
Wow.
World Wide Web one is debatable because I stood in the office where it actually started in CERN.
That's exciting.
Really?
Yeah. That's
so yeah, it looks like they're still for sale. They haven't shut them off yet.
Woohoo!
So that's fabulous. And there's the login button right there.
Well, yeah, but that isn't where I'm logging in.
You may be going.
If you go onto the dashboard.
Can we just go to that link? Can we just go to that checkout link right there?
That was never quite working. I kind of was in there, but I wasn't in there. But what I did was, if you go like where you get the messages, if you've left tickets, it's in there.
Yeah, you can go there.
Awesome.
That's just a checkout page. So that's going to get you, you'll register. Remember, we just did this. You guys actually went through this entire process. And that's the login button, right? Remember I told you about the login button? So that's exactly what that is. They just changed the look of it is all. And then right here is where they register. And when they register, they can go ahead and go to buy now. And then once you've bought, you click login. And again, you're logged in. So it's registering you as being logged into the website. And from there.
Can I see your screen, Shirley?
Oh, shoot, I'm sorry. It helps if you see it, huh? Let me go back and show you again. So here's the checkout page, right? There's the login button. Remember I told you about the login button. This is the same thing. They've just changed the way it looks is all. So it's the same exact thing that we did a minute ago. Ours just looked really plain. And then here's the register area, just like we did before. We're going to register a new account. And once you register the account and buy now, it will take you through the payment process. And then once you click the login button, you'll log in. And then depending on what you bought, you're going to get access to this, or you're going to get access to this, or you're going to get access to this, or you're going to get access to this. And it's
okay.
All depending on the ticket.
If you want to go back to the main page, I can show you where I found the message that linked me to the website.
Right here, the main page.
I wonder how many times they tested that funnel.
A lot, I promise you.
I'm joking.
They're like me.
No, to Builderall's main page.
Oh, the dashboard?
Yeah, the dashboard. Okay, see this little thing up here where you've got numbers? If they go in there, it's the messages in there.
Oh, so
on how to log into the site.
Yeah, what that means is you're in James's team. James can't message anybody else.
Okay,
that's not on his team. Yeah. Yeah, so if you're not on James' team, he won't be able to message you that way. Yeah. All right, any other questions, you guys? But that was actually a really good example of a sales funnel and some of the things that you got to see today. That login button that allows you to log in and go to the areas that you have permission to go into. The checkout page that actually has the registration there where you register. And then when you fill that out, it logs you into the website. And that's what tells you what you have. And then you saw that page that says this area, this area, this area, this area. It's like a thank you page that we did, a member access area. So it's a great way to do it. And it looks very professional. You guys saw the skin and bones version. They have the fully fleshed out pretty version. That's what you guys have to do, is the pretty stuff. I'll do all the technical stuff for you, but you guys do the pretty stuff because everybody's real different on how they do that. All right, any other questions, you guys?
Oh, I thought you were just going to keep this going until tonight's training. I'm in.
I know, we're only a couple hours away. You guys don't know. I could do this for hours and hours. And then when I'm done, I really am bushed. But during the time that I'm teaching, I'm just like, let's keep going. Let's do this. Course certified partners. There were some days my course certified partners were like, done, Shelly, we're done. And I'd tell them, all right, you guys, we've been doing this for about 3 hours. Do you guys want to just break here and start tomorrow? And I got this. And I'm ready to go another hour. So yeah.
Could I add something real quick?
Go ahead, Alejandro.
Yeah, just to let you know for Robson, if you're trying to use an outside payment method, you can also release a token number. So maybe you can go around that. So on your page, you will just have a button to, after they pay through the outside payment method, they can click on it and then get the access to the token.
Token, oh, okay.
So maybe you can do that route. And I just wanted to add another thing. Whenever I was doing a funnel, it was more of a website for a client. And On the checkout page, he had 3 products. So what I did is I just duplicated those checkout pages. If you guys do that, don't do that, because what happens is I duplicated the pages and I will just change the product on each one. What it does is it will duplicate it, and if you change the product on the second one, it will also change the product on the first one.
Yeah.
And that drove me crazy for over a day because I didn't understand that. So
Yep.
I'm just putting it out there.
That's the same idea as like if you put a box, and if you guys have been through my other training, when you have a box, if you just duplicate the box, if you change the color of one box, it's going to change the color of the other box because they're the same style. So these checkouts work the same way. So you need individual checkouts for each product, or like exactly what Alejandro said, if you change one of them, you're actually changing all of them because they all technically have the same style. Whatever you set one to, they all do.
Yeah, so it drove me crazy for a whole day. I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, I've done that too.
Like, okay. Yeah.
One more question. When are you going to put up the information for registration for the next class?
Probably just before, because I'm headed out to London, so I'm not going to do any of that for the next class right now. But when I get back from London, which is on the 19th or something like that, I'll probably jump right in and get everything set up to get started for the next one. Okay. I cannot believe we're done, you guys. This is 7 days in the can again. It's crazy. You guys did fantastic. And hopefully you learned a whole lot. And poor Tyree is crying. I'm sorry, Tyree. But I promise I will be back and we'll do
Here's some tissue, Tyree.
I know, right? I can't remember what the next one was about. But whatever it is, I'm sure it's flipping awesome. And we'll spend a whole 7 days together again on the next boot camp. Again, right when I get back from London, I'll go ahead and set it up so that you can at least register and get reminders of each of the meetings. And let's just look, let me look with you guys to see what the next one is. So I'll go to share my screen and we'll go to builderallbootcamps.com. And coming up, oh my gosh, look at all those boot camps. Coming up is the e-commerce. That is going to be changed for sure. And probably what I'll do is bump up probably email. Yeah, probably
yes.
email. Because we're redoing the e-commerce platform and it's not ready for me to do a 7-day boot camp on it yet. So I will probably move email into that and we'll do email instead. Because I think email, where did I have email? Yeah, email's right there. So it'll be just bumping it up right there. That'll be a good change. So we'll tackle email, then we'll jump into chatbots and we'll try to get back on the schedule for sure.
Awesome.
But email will be a good
Star
one.
woman.
And I got some really, really cool stuff to show you with email. So get ready for that one. The official date on that one was March the 25th. So we got a couple weeks and then we can jump into it again. Okay. All right. Your job, your homework for tonight is to get some rest, relax, have a great time, and keep working on those sales funnels.
You have a safe journey.
I want to see one of you guys doing a tripwire funnel because that to me is the best funnel ever.
That's what I'm going to be doing with my membership site.
Awesome. That's fabulous. I cannot wait to see it.
All right, have a great trip. Don't worry about us. You worry about yourself, and you have a very safe journey and enjoy the heck out of it.
I will. Alejandro, you're going to say something?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Before you go, I couldn't find on your videos, do you have any training on lead magnets, how to create good lead magnets?
Yes. I believe the first boot camp I did was the lead magnet funnel training. That's actually delivered a little differently. When I first started this project of boot camps, it was starting it on my own. I'd actually went to Eric and I said, I'd really like to do boot camps for Builderall. And he had a lot on his plate at that time. And he said, why don't you do them and you do the funnels and you do all them, not for Builderall, but just for you. And I'm like, okay. And it was clear to me that I had to do a boot camp and show the success of the boot camp before he would actually want them for Builderall. So we did the first boot camp and I did it through Facebook and we got 1,000 people in there, like really lickety split. So when I went to him after that boot camp and said, hey, there's this boot camp and this is what I did and this is the response, then that's when he said, yes, I want you to do those for Builderall. So the first one is delivered a little bit differently because it's in a Facebook group. So if you just type in Facebook Builderall 7-day boot camp, you'll find it. Ask to join, and I'll preview. There's, it's not really hard to get in, and it uses units. So on the left-hand side on the menu, just look at units, and each day has its own unit, and that's the first one. And I'm in the process of moving those videos over into the boot camp YouTube channel, but they're not all quite there yet. Okay.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
You're so welcome. Always glad to help. And if there's nothing else, you guys, I will let you go. Have a fabulous week, and I will see you for sure again on the 25th after my trip to London.
Enjoy.
Have a good trip.
You'll be coming back. Hang on, Shelley. You'll be coming back waving like this, like the Queen.
I know.
Like the Queen.
I've already told her
of her coach.
Told her I'd like to do brunch with her somewhere. So I'm waiting any day to hear back from her. And Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran is my new favorite person, and I'm convinced that I'm going to just run into him on the streets of England. So we'll see.
You could do it. You could do it. You have better chance of meeting him in Grafton Street in Dublin. I see Bono every year in Grafton Street in Dublin. He comes out and
you
sings.
See him, just tell him the Builderall Diva says hi.
Yeah, well done. Good luck, everybody. Take care. All the best. Good to see you.
Bye, guys. Have a great one. I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Safe journeying.
Oh, Shelley, I put you a disclaimer in the chat. No cats were harmed in the making of this.
Oh, good. That's good. Thank you very much.
Good luck, everybody. Take care. Bye, bye, bye.
Dominic, you don't even know. I got in so much trouble one time for saying that. I mean nothing by it. Absolutely nothing. But I actually did get in a lot of trouble saying that one time, and I've learned